So
Hello?
Hello?
There he is.
Hello.
Hi, Electro.
It's me.
It's you.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute, hold on. If you or a loved one, is this him?
That's
Yeah.
that's the guy.
This is awesome. I cannot wait.
Turn you down a little bit, Electro.
Yeah,
Really
he's
loud.
a little hot. I'll
Am
adjust,
I?
I'll
I got
adjust
you
it.
now. You're good.
Hey, I don't know about you, Electro, but I heard him say you're hot.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I actually hate compliments if you didn't know that.
He does. Yeah, he actually gets like aggressive when people gives him compliments.
You know, when you were talking about bringing a clan member, I was hoping you'd bring him tonight because he's so damn entertaining, man. When I watch you guys' videos,
He is very entertaining.
and it's just, I don't know how often you guys go through the takes and stuff, but it gets really quiet and he's sitting on the stone just awkward, and it's just so perfect, man. It's so good.
Indeed.
Guardian down.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for hanging out with us today. Welcome to episode 86 of Guardian Downcast. We're a couple dads that talk about all things in the Destiny universe. We interview content creators and community members to find out more about them. We're the show that wants to know more about running in a wolf pack in the Crucible. I'm your host, The Gator, and my co-host Hazel is here as well. Hey, man, how you been?
Was okay until about maybe 12 hours ago when I went and got my new phone. And now I don't know how to fucking work a phone. It's fantastic. I feel like I'm fumbling around like a virgin. It's lovely.
You know, you don't realize how much your phone revolves around your world until you get a new one and you got to set everything back up again.
Yeah, exactly. Like Discord. Like I can't get into Discord at all. I feel just naked.
The authenticator has denied your access.
Yeah, exactly. What kind of bullshit is that?
I had that issue too. I hear you, man.
Yeah. So, but yeah, aside from that, my week has been shitty. So yeah, how about you, man?
Yeah, it's been a good week. Busy week. Man, it's starting to heat up here in Florida. We're in the 80s, high 70s most of the week. It's been really nice. I'm taking advantage of this weather. I'm getting out there, getting jobs done. And I did want to give a shout out. I wanted to thank Two Titans and a Hunter and the Guardian Hub podcast. I was on their show last week, and everybody was joking I was running the podcast circuit. I that's just the timing and how it goes. Sometimes if I'm asked and as long as it doesn't interfere with the other podcast, I'm in. I just enjoy talking to those guys. I felt like I thought the hosts were very hospitable, and I felt really at home on both podcasts. I just wanted to thank those guys. I had a great time, and hopefully we'll get to talk in the future. All right. Well, I tell you what, this week we have a very special episode in store. I've been following these guys for a while now, and I've watched them grow on YouTube tenfold. They have a very cool spin on the team play concept in the Crucible, as well as put on some very entertaining videos. I'm talking about the YouTube channel TDT, the Dream Team. And tonight, I have their main creator behind it and one of his clanmates that share in the fun. It's mesome777. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I am doing well. Just got home from a family trip out getting sushi. So I'm feeling hot. I'm feeling good. I'm ready to go.
Nice. Get that nice hot sauce going. Yeah, get some energy.
That hot. Yeah, I'm good. I'm juiced. I'm ready to go.
Well, we're not only like I said, we're not only highlighting you as a person and player, we're also highlighting your clan, and you've invited one of your clanmates with you tonight. You want to introduce him?
That's right. I have with me today, unfortunately, Mr. Unknown Electro, who has been with me, forever. I've known him for as long as I've known Destiny, basically. And
Indeed.
Yeah. I brought him here tonight for some good laughs, as well as his personal take, because he's got some surprisingly deep takes when he wants to be serious.
Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait. Mm-hmm. All I know is when you guys do your little skits and he says the most awkward stuff, I'm just on the floor laughing. It's so funny. So I can't wait to hear it. I can't wait to hear it. Well, hey, just a quick overview of tonight's show. First, We're going to hear mesome777's story and how he got into gaming, and also talk with him and Unknown Electro on how the TDT channel and clan was created and more. Next, we're going to test their Twitch reflexes in our new and further improved Fast Fire segment we call the Speed Run. Hazel's going to go over the TWAB for this 5th week of the season of The Chosen. We'll answer community questions, and finally, we'll add 2 songs each to our award-winning Guardian Downcast show playlist on Spotify and iTunes. All right, guys, let's get it going. Hey, thanks for listening to Guardian Downcast. You can find us on Twitter at Guardian_D_cast.
Or, you can find us on Instagram at Guardian_Down_cast and see what pics our weekly guests want to share with you.
Or Hazel, just visit our website at GuardianDowncast.com for all the contact information and where else you want to find us. And you can also play any past episodes you like in any order you like, right from your browser.
Don't you or me, man. Anyway, so hey, Guardians, check us out, and later, Guardians.
Toddles.
Hey, that's my line, man.
All right, well, mesome777, I have to say, you have been very impressive over the last 6 months, I think, that I've watched your channel. And let's start with this. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where did you grow up? Where do you call home now? What do you do for a living? That kind of stuff. Maybe your family makeup. That's the general things that we want to just kind of know about you.
Sure. So here's what I would say. I'm California, homegrown and raised. I'm very much I don't get out much, I guess. I've got some family in other states, but generally speaking, I haven't really left much of the state. So I've pretty much been here my whole life. I haven't really moved far from where I've been, just in where I'm currently at for a while. So I guess take that as it will. Family situation, for the people who get to know me a little bit better, I didn't have the greatest situation growing up. My family loves me to death, and Electro's had a far, far more, I'll say, interesting growing up experience. But for me, it was a divorce, and a very bitter one at that, when I was pretty young. Mm-hmm. So I learned very quickly that I would have to be mature. I would have to be on my feet, essentially, to keep not only the balance between the two households, but between schooling. And because I had essentially, the two households had two completely separate socioeconomic backgrounds. Like on my dad's side, he was always middle to lower class. And on my mom's side, it was always middle to upper class. So I had this very interesting family dynamic where I kind of got to see a bit of both sides of it, as it were.
Okay.
And that's always hilarious whenever you get into like a sociology class and they start talking about, the rich versus the poor or whatever. And I raise my hand and go, okay, what about both? Right. Yeah. Because it gives you perspective. It really does. So I think that has been primarily one of the things that has shaped how I go about doing things. For example, my dream with the YouTube channel is to make it essentially a career. Like my dream is to have it steady, where that will be the thing that we do. And you guys might not know, because I don't think I've mentioned it. Maybe I have in the Discords back and forth, but we actually have a second channel, or at least I have a second channel now, where it's different content. Like we focused the first channel on more the serious stuff, the builds, the community, the game design reworks and such. And then the second channel is more about just having fun with the game, right?
Oh, I love it.
That's always been kind of the dream, is to have YouTube as be something that's steady. So I try to approach it professionally. I try to make it something that I take seriously, right? And I also try to get people like Electro involved, because it not only is it a second voice on the outside, but it's also just general help for getting some of the stuff done, right? The TDT channel is our channel. It's our group, our clan Discord's channel, if that makes sense. It was originally going to just kind of be just something we just kind of slept off, nothing really serious. But as we started to go about it, we realized, hey, I kind of like doing this. This is kind of fun. And we started to get some momentum behind us. We're like, okay, let's actually make this a thing. And, I guess that's kind of where we are here. I think I kind of shotgunned your answer there. But...
No, that's fine. That's fine. We kind of leave it open. We let our guests explain things however way they want. But what do you do for a living right now until you get your dream job doing YouTube?
So I currently work as an at-home advisor, an Apple Care advisor through my college, where essentially if you go to whatever college, they essentially sponsor, if that makes sense.
Okay.
You have the opportunity to go work for specifically Apple. And it's really nice. It's a really good position. I essentially just run tech support. They're incredibly flexible with my schedule. The pay is solid. I get full medical, full dental, like the whole 9 yards, right? Wow. My manager's fantastic. Like, honestly, I absolutely love working at Apple. And my manager's always like, hey, because she knows I do videos. If you do a video and you ever talk about Apple, just make sure that, you don't be too specific, or, make sure that it's company approved, quote unquote, right?
Yeah, that's
and
common.
I'm like, don't worry about it, because I absolutely adore my job. It's, I have to deal with people, and people can be hit or miss. Like if you've ever been in like, any type of customer service position, right? Anything related to customer service, that people can be sometimes hit or miss, but the pros far outweigh the cons. And definitely the skills I've gotten from that job, because I have to be able to do kind of like what we're doing here, is just to be able to talk to somebody and be able to explain complicated ideas in a way that somebody who's completely new to the subject would be able to understand it. So I absolutely would say that the job has actually helped the channel as well, or at least me in particular, be able to formulate thoughts quickly, right? Like being able to come up on the spot, improv, formulate complicated ideas in a way that hopefully is presentable to somebody on the outside, right? Without notes or anything.
Right. Well, man, you seem to have it all together, man. I love your thought process. All right. So are you a Central Cal, Northern Cal, or Southern Cal guy?
I'm
we'll keep it
more
broad.
Central, I suppose.
Okay.
I guess. Yeah.
Okay. Because that's like 3 different universes, really.
Yeah, it really is. Electro SoCal, and it's completely different. Like from what he's telling me about his experiences, it's a completely different world. You're absolutely right on that.
Very cool. All right, Hazel.
Anyway, I don't know, Electro, do you have something to say on that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a authentic Mexican restaurant right near me, so yeah, I think that's a plus for me.
We don't have those. Yeah, that's true. We have like one that's like by the railroad tracks, and it's kind of sketchy, and like I definitely need a little more ethnicity down there.
Indeed.
That's awesome. All right. Well, so I'll throw this out here. So what was your earliest moment in gaming that you remember?
Oh my gosh, really? My earliest moment. Okay. All right. My earliest moment was preschool. It was like just a little public preschool thing. And dude, I can recall the entire layout of that building. It's a little terrifying, but they had this computer. It must have been some Windows or something. And it had this submarine game where you would try to explore the depths of the ocean. And it's like a 2D style of thing, and you couldn't touch the sea creatures, or else you would game over, right? And I remember spending a lot of time. I developed that. Well, that's not even the earliest. Wait, I lied. That's not even the earliest, because there's actually time before that. I remember playing the original Pitfall with my dad on the SNES, like the one right after where it stopped being pixels on the Atari, like right when it became like recognizable as a person and not just a set of pixels, so not just a set of blocks.
Really?
I remember playing that with my dad, and I remember that it didn't have the ability to save the game, or rather maybe the game didn't support it or something like that.
Right.
So you had to do, if you were going to beat the game, you had to do it like all in one sitting. And I remember my dad taking down, it was some kind of giant Mayan talus, massive golem type thing. And I remember that was like the first moment that we had like one of those victory moments. I think it was at that point that I really started to develop that kind of gamer mentality, if that makes sense, as cringy as that may be.
Okay.
Because that and the submarine game I just mentioned, those were really early. Holy crap. Making me dig way far back.
Don't worry. We go back further probably. Yeah.
What? Electro, I'm actually curious because I've never asked you that question.
Yeah,
What's
Electro,
your earliest?
Yeah, I was just going to ask you.
I'm not really sure, to be honest. I think maybe when I was like 6 or 7, I used to live with my grandpa, with my mom and my dad, and he would have like this like a Game Boy Advance, right? That he would lend me so that I could just play, whenever I'm bored. But he also had like a PS2 as well, so like I was basically playing most of the time. And yeah, I think the first game I've ever played was probably Kingdom Hearts on the Game Boy Advance. And then, I got into gaming more. Like I went on this PS2 to play like I think it was Crash Bandicoot, and then like Jack. I think it was the first and the third one, or I can't remember which one. It was either 1 or 3, but yeah, that's basically when I was basically playing at around that age, 6 or 7.
I did not know that. I would not have guessed Kingdom Hearts would have been your first game. That would have been probably the last thing I would have
Or
guessed.
even Crash, yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's pretty cool, though. I mean, Kingdom Hearts, I think, brought a lot of people in just because of the whole Disney / Final Fantasy field.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how it merged the two.
I still can't get a solid answer as to what the hell the storyline is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Oh, I have no idea either. It just looks really cool to me.
It does. It looks cool.
But I can't play it to save my life, though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
Something about the controls.
Well, hey, Mesome, how did you find Destiny, man?
Shoot. To my recollection, because I've had this question asked to me before, to my recollection, it was bought for me as a birthday present. And I remember when I first picked it up and looked at it, I'm like, because I was a Call of Duty kid. I was the squeakers on the mic that were the top fragging with the multiple kill streaks, but like, didn't have any hair anywhere on their body other than their head. Right. And when I saw that, I'm like, this isn't Call of Duty. And I decided to play it. And I was like, oh, holy crap. Oh my. Oh, this is quite enjoyable. Oh, I like this a lot. And it was from that point on that I vividly remember, after having played it for a while, trying to go in depth about the raid to my best friend, surprisingly still my best friend, who didn't give two craps about what I was saying, right? He was just very nice. Listened to me rant about how cool this thing was, where there's these harpy things, and if they spotted you, they would kill you, and then you had to like go to this side of the map and stand in the circle, and then you had to shoot the boss after you came back out, and he was just very polite. But yeah, that was it was definitely Crucible the first time I remember, like when I actually started getting accustomed with it. I was level 6. And I had like this blue auto rifle back when auto rifles were like the thing. If you guys remember that.
I know you're
early.
talking about the Shenzhen.
I think it was a Galahad.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That was the sister gun of it. It was a nice gun.
Yeah. It was just this random blue auto rifle. And I remember going into it thinking to myself, I'm going to get my ass kicked, right? Because I'm like level 6 and top fragged that game. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is going to be a deal. Like we're making this a thing. Like, something Mesome talked to Mesome and said, yes, this is something we're going to do for a very long time. I definitely was roughly around that point I really got into Destiny, and roughly around that time that I met Electro too.
Yeah,
which I guess I could.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you're gonna explain what?
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I think I really got into Destiny when I can't remember, but like I think it was like when Crota's End like dropped, because I remember wanting to play Destiny 2, or I mean not Destiny 2, that was that's right now, but yeah, I wanted to play Destiny, but I just obviously didn't have the game or the console to actually play it on, and like the actual game to play it on. But I think before that I was playing basically GTA 5 online and basically just sniping kids like left and right every time, and yeah. Then I finally got Destiny, and so we're playing, right? And yeah, I literally searched on LFG one time, and somehow I met this one guy just to do this exotic quest. And
Black Spindle.
I think so.
Yep. Yeah, it was an LFG for Black Spindle. I was back with one of the original founders, J Food, who is moved on from gaming, and we basically just LFG'd and he was just some random guy, right? They were like, hey, we should join the mic with him. And we got this personality, what you're experiencing here. And they're like, we like this guy. And we started playing more regularly. And it was around that time that we realized that we were doing a pretty good job. Like, you know, clearly we're not the best of the best, like, right. But there's a lot better players out there, than us. Right. But, you know, we realized like, hey, we're pretty good. We were like top 1%, like in 5 different categories for 5 different PvP things when we were looking that up. So we're like, hey, let's make a clan. Let's do the cool thing and make a clan. It was just like 3 of us. And
we'll get to that. I don't want to get too far. I don't want to get too far ahead because I definitely want to talk about this. This is like a really big part of the interview I want to talk about. But
sure.
Hazel, I'll step over you here and ask this while we're on this topic. Do you have a moment back in Destiny 1, Destiny 2 that you'll never forget? Like a very memorable moment in time or activity you were doing?
So the earliest one that comes to mind, there's 2. The earliest one that comes to mind was it's actually with Electro, and I think it was Solid. Remember Solid Electro?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was with, I think he might know what I'm about to reference here. It was Trials. And it was a Mars map. It was the one with the big like globe, holographic globe in the center. It was like kind of like a U shape.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think you remember this instance. And we both Solid and I we were down, and Electro was the only one alive. And we're, you know, as you do when you're talking to the last man alive, you're giving him way too much information, right? You're just giving him every single step that he should do. And there's, you know, he's trying to focus in, and he's in one of the areas that's outside of one of the hallways. So he's looking down this hallway, and we're like, okay, it's a 3v1, you know, we're trying to like strategize it out. And while we're talking to him, I hear the crack of a rifle, and this guy gets a triple collat, ending the round right then, right there. And we collectively lost our minds. We collectively just like lost all of it. We were just screaming, and it was insane. It was absolutely the first memory I will ever have about Destiny is this dude landing a freaking triple collat to clutch a 3v1 in a Trials of Osiris match. It was nuts.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't think I've ever seen one of those. Wow.
I wouldn't have believed it if I wasn't there myself. Like, if you came to me next day like, I landed a triple collat, I'd be like, you're a liar.
Wow, that's impressive.
Definitely.
That's impressive. Is that the one that comes to mind for you, Unknown Electro?
Actually, no, there's another one. There was a time when it was me, Mesome, J-Food, and Solid, basically the founders of the clan. And then, like, I think, like, 2 others. We basically did the Volta Glass raid, and I remember... it was so dumb, but I remember everybody dying to Atheon, and I think we just, like, literally started the damage phase as everybody died. And I remember, like, they're like, oh, you know, just wipe, you know, like, it's pretty much over. And at that point, they were kind of just going to give up after that wipe. And I was just like, now, you know what? I'm just going to, you know, keep damaging him, right? Because he was already low. And so I keep damaging him, and he's like 1 HP. I'm like, maybe I should just style on this dude. And I end up, like, just 360 no-scoping this freaking this Atheon boss, and I actually beat it with everybody dead.
Please tell me you captured that. You captured that, right?
No, I didn't.
Oh, man.
It's one of those. Here's the unfortunate part about all this, right? Because nobody's going to believe any of this, right? Here's the unfortunate part about all this. My PlayStation 4, which obviously I've been one of the 100 people who are lucky enough to get their hands on a PlayStation 5.
Right.
All of my PlayStation 4 stuff I've given to another person in the clan because theirs caught on fire, basically. So I wanted to wipe. I wiped it clean so that they could have it. So all of like the really clutch memories like that are no longer with me. It's really sad. And I didn't have them saved anymore. So we weren't doing YouTube at the time.
Right.
But yeah.
That's too bad.
Wow. Yeah, that really does suck. But it's a good reason, though. It's a good reason, though.
Yeah. Fair enough, at least.
Yeah. So you guys have mentioned your clan and that a couple times, and I know that you started to get into it before Gator cut you off. So how did you get started with that?
With the clan? Oh, geez. Yeah. So the short version, like I mentioned, was that, we had essentially just hooked up and realized that we were all pretty damn good at the game and decided just to do it just for fun. Being that we kind of touched on the founding, like I knew J-Food, just to give J-Food a little bit of background. I knew J-Food from high school, and we kind of connected. Like I wouldn't have spoken to him much at all. He was sort of like a friend of a friend situation. So he was my best friend's good friend. I don't know if he was considered the best friend at the time. If he did, I'll always give him a hard time for that. But anyway, it essentially was that kind of situation, right? And I brought up Destiny kind of offhandedly, I remember, and he's like, "Hey, you play Destiny? I play Destiny. We should hang out." And we connected over that, right? And then obviously we talked about how we met Electro, and then the foundings of the clan were pretty much started off with, "Hey, let's try to create an environment that we want to see, right? Let's create a family-focused environment where we treat each other different. Like, it's not just like you must have a 4.20 KD and 69 kills in the game. You have to actually, have some character to you, right? Because we think that, at least personally, one of my dreams is to be a game designer. You guys will see some of the videos we do on the channel. We talk about game design a lot, and we'll talk about game design ideas. Right. And the reason why I'm so passionate about games is that I really do think that games are a specific type of medium that really can, it's the only medium that can really capture something that we can't get anywhere else, right? And it's an interactive medium, right? So I think games, and that's why we started the game, can be a conduit for developing a really deep relationship with somebody, because it's different than having like a book club or talking about a movie with one another. You can sit side by side with somebody and both do the same thing and have the same experience and talk about that and come away with two completely different things, right? Completely different takeaways from something. And you can develop that relationship just like, two dudes in a foxhole, right? In a war, right? You can get that kind of camaraderie with somebody. So we wanted to really dial in on that specifically and create this environment that was respectful, focused on teamwork, and was, a bunch of skilled badasses as well. Right. So that's kind of how the foundations were formed. It's like, let's take these tenets and let's be very, very, very picky about who we actually let into the clan. Like if you go check out our Discord, which I don't think either of you guys are in. That's my bad.
I just joined.
No, we're in.
Oh, okay, good.
We're in.
Okay, good. You guys will see that, we have like hundreds of people who come through or whatever, right?
Right.
And we only have like 10 members, and most of those members have been there for at least a year, most of them like 4 or 5 years, right? Because we want to make sure that whoever we do end up making member are like, we treat them like a family, right? We treat them like, a brother. Like, I'll put Electro on the spot here, if you don't mind, Electro, talking about the generosity that is happening. Are you okay with that? Are you okay with me talking about that?
Yeah.
So Electro hits me up one day and he says, "Hey man, I can't make rent. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm SOL. I have no other places to turn and I'm really embarrassed, but can you help?" Right. And I say, "Of course." I said, "But I want you to drop your request into what we call the badass chat, the members chat.
Right.
And I want you to let them know what's going on." Right. And I said, "You'd be surprised, I think, at how well you'll be received." And within 24 hours, he had raised over $300 for his rent just on the spot. We've never met him in real life before, right? These are all just people we just game with. Just out of like 10 or so people raised $300 for him to help cover his rent just without even blinking. I think it was probably even faster than that. But like, wow. That's why we do what we do. That's why, a lot of people will say like they've got the best clan. And I say, that's great, but you're wrong. We have the best clan because your clan, I guarantee you, ain't like that. Right.
Well, that's just it is, a lot of people say, well, we have our clan's like family, but you guys actually show it on your videos. And that's what I love. I've seen quite a few of your videos. I haven't seen them all, but I've seen quite a few of them. But the one thing I did notice, I went to the TDT channel, which is on YouTube, guys. And you have underneath your title, gaming, tactics, community, sketches, streams. Can you elaborate on what this means exactly? What is this your mission statement of what your channel is designed to do, or can you elaborate?
Sure. Yeah. So the idea behind it is that a lot of channels want to focus on maybe like one or two general topics that they like to cover, right? Like Astrocross does TWAB stuff, weapon reviews, that kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Our goal was to be a bit of variety. Like we wanted to be able to, have essentially like a buffet of different things that people could come to the channel and experience, right? So we essentially started to create a system to where, let's say somebody really likes build videos or tactic videos, then we have a way for them to be able to locate and find that really efficiently and really easily, so that if they like certain videos, they can go to that specific playlist. With the thumbnails will always have, in case you guys never noticed this, the thumbnails will have a different colored little tag in the upper right hand corner depending on the type of video you're about to watch, so that you can get an idea of what it is you're about to get into. So if you have a specific thing you like from us, you can keep an eye on that. And recently we've made it to where we're more focused. We're focusing down on the three main ones, which is the community, the gaming, and the tactics, right? Which is also, like you mentioned, kind of like what make us up, like what makes our clan like who we are, right? So it's just like different outlets for those different, main principles that, are demonstrated through the YouTube channel.
Yeah,
right?
I get it.
But yeah, it gives you essentially the viewer, something to look forward to, or look for something specifically. You can check that specific playlist if you want to watch that type of content. Maybe you don't like the more game design stuff. Maybe that's not your thing, right? Maybe you don't like the exotic ideas. Maybe, that's pipe dreaming, whatever, right? You can go watch the other stuff that you particularly enjoy, right? So recently though, we're probably going to change this up a little bit. The sketches and the streams, obviously our streams probably going to still be happening, but probably on Twitch. I haven't decided what we're going to do on that, but the more funny focused sketches and the game stuff have been moved to the mesome channel just for the sake of the YouTube algorithm, because we found a lot of the times people who would come to the channel for like the first time would watch a video and be like, great, maybe they would subscribe, and the next video that come out would be a lot more serious, maybe something that they weren't expecting from us, right? So to help give somebody a more consistent experience, just both for YouTube's algorithm, so that they can recommend us a little bit more frequently to the people who watch our specific stuff for that specific thing, as well as for the people who are, trying to enjoy it, right? Gives them that better draft of what they're going for.
Well, the one thing, I know you got a question drawn up, Hazel. The one thing I notice is you take aside a certain member of your clan and you make a video and talk with them, like just in the world, just like you're wandering around the Cosmodrome, and you're just talking about an idea for a video. And I love that, because what I'm finding out is I'm learning about your clan. I'm not only learning about your clan, but I'm learning about all the members of your clan. Like you just said, like they're a big family. And that is so entertaining to watch, because you'll bring something up about a concept of playing, and you'll ask, whoever you have with you, you'll ask them, and they'll have their opinions, and it's a nice back and forth. I know Patty Cakes does this in Crucible. He'll take, a really good Crucible community member, and he'll go back and forth and talk with them about certain ways of doing things. But I just had to mention that, because not only are your videos entertaining, but you actually make sure you put a spotlight on someone in your clan, and I really like that.
Yeah, because the thing is I don't think anybody really truly has it figured out. Like, I could talk forever, as you guys have clearly seen, run over the top of Electro here. But I don't claim to have it all figured out, and that's we obviously will talk about this. I'm sure we will, because it's you've mentioned it already, as we talk about the idea of a wolf pack. We are different components all focused towards the same goal, right? I have a different mindset than how Electro operates. Like here's a perfect example. Some of these people in the clan I've met IRL. Like we've taken the time to drive and get, meet up in person, right?
Right.
And one of the times I did that with one of our members, Scapegoat, and we went to a water park, and there's just like this lazy river going around, right? Scapegoat's a Gamma, so more backline player, and I'm an Alpha, very frontline player.
We'll get into that.
Well, that was actually my question.
That was my question. All right.
Go ahead. Yeah,
Told you I'll dominate the conversation. Go ahead.
No, that was my actual question. So go ahead.
Okay. So sorry, I got to turn on the fan. It's getting a little warm. So yeah, so the wolf pack idea is not just how you interact with the game or what weapons you use. It's essentially like a problem solving tactic. Like, how do you as a person problem solve, right? So in that example, there's the lazy river, and he's kind of like, he looks over at me, is like, I don't know, he's kind of thinking about it. It's like, I guess I'll just kind of like, and he starts kind of taking 2 steps in, and while he's still finishing his conversation, I'm sprinting, full sprint, jump, leap, pile drive into the water, water everywhere. People are looking at me, like, woohoo, right? Completely different mindsets. And I wasn't even thinking about it at the time. And he comes up to me, he goes, I guess that what I just did there was like the most gamma thing I could have done, right? And I laugh and I say, yeah, I guess I did the alpha thing too, right? Because that's what we think that's how we try to categorize it. So Electro has a completely different way of problem solving than I might, which when you combine those different elements together can give you a full picture, right? Oh. That's the goal, is to get as full of a picture of a problem as you possibly can, right? Electro would problem solve different than I would, and vice versa. So
let's get into this, because this was the meat of really what I wanted to talk about tonight. Is sure. you break down players into 4 separate roles when you're playing as a team, and those roles work together really well. Can you list the 4 roles and what they represent? Just a quick synopsis. Okay.
Sure, absolutely. In fact, here, let me pull up our manual page, and I will give you the textbook definition for this.
Okay, I'm ready.
We've got this all. So, funny story. A lot of this stuff, when we were smaller, right? A lot of the stuff has been something I've been like, guys, use your wolf pack. Like, trust me on this. Use your wolf pack, because a lot of the stuff is based off of real military tactics.
That's what I was going to ask you, because I don't know, where did you get these ideas from? Did you have history in the military, or did you just read up on it, or?
Yeah, surprisingly, no military history in terms of like, me personally. My dad has always been very into military ideas, very military mindset. He's kind of like that prepper type of person, right?
Okay, I got you.
So a lot of my tactical skill, my weapon skill, self-defense, all that other stuff came from him.
Okay.
Right. And this is essentially a more flavorful version of what the military will use, and put with some extra stuff to, in order to make it more game friendly.
Sure.
Right. But yeah, all of this stuff is all based off of like real U.S. military combat tactics. Right. So anyway, the original wolf pack came with 3 people, and this was before we started to really analyze it deeper than just, that, hey, we've just kind of noticed it. It was just, and that's what I always say too, is that I know I'm kind of giving a lot of maybe perhaps slightly unnecessary background, but I always have said that the wolf pack is not necessarily something that you do. It's something that you observe, if that makes sense. So whether you like it or not, whether we wanted it or not,
don't do it, Hazel. Don't do it.
I won't. You will play one of these 4 roles. It is, you will. It is not a matter of like, I'm not any of those things. No, you will play one of these. One of these things will catch you, right? One of these things will describe your personality. And that's what I say. It's almost like the scientific method. We take it, we look at it, and this is a way for us to analyze and talk about it, put it on paper so that we can better break it apart. When something goes right, when something goes wrong, we can say, this is why, right? We've given it labels in such a way that we can, formulate it in such a way, right?
Yeah, I follow.
That's more effective the next time, if that makes sense. So anyway, the 4 positions are as follows. You've got the alpha. This is your frontline initiation. Their responsibilities are pulling aggro, maintaining the frontline damage of the team with quick, close quarter bursts of damage, and must be proficient in initiation and movement. So the very clear example of this is your shotgun apes. These are your in-your-face, constantly aggressive, right? And one thing that's important to point out is that an ape is not necessarily an alpha, or I should say the other way around. So the alpha is not necessarily an ape, but an ape is an alpha, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So somebody can be aggressive, but that doesn't mean that they're just going to be aping around, right? Second role is the beta role. The positions are followed staggered to the alpha or flexing into other roles as needed. The responsibilities are to follow up with flexible follow-up damage after a fight has been initiated at any range. They must be capable of on-the-spot swapping or flexing. So they're the the good guy Phil. They're a lot of the times a good example of this is sort of like your hand cannon or sidearm sniper playstyle, or maybe like your scout rifle shotgun, something that's really focusing on being as flexible as possible. And I would say that really good teams are composed almost entirely of betas that just flex into different roles as needed.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's the role of a beta, is to adapt and fill in where needed, right?
Right. So like really, really good teams, like you'll see someone like the top tier of teams will essentially be triple, like, 3v3 triple betas, but one will kind of fill the role of the alpha, one will more fill the role of the, omega or whatever it may be. Right.
And you give real life examples of these. Do you want to share those? Like an alpha,
sure.
for instance, you said, who was an alpha that's a content creator out there?
Oh yeah, sure. So our first video introducing this idea to YouTube, I called Cammy Cakes a beta, which was funny because he ended up actually commenting on that video, because apparently I heard through the grapevine that somebody essentially dropped that video and said, this guy called you a beta without any context, just so he would, find it funny.
Right.
So the 4 examples that we listed in that video in particular is Astrocross is an alpha, Cammy Cakes plays beta, True Vanguard plays gamma, and Frostbolt plays omega. So each of them have a particular place that all good players can play whatever they want, right? And that's one of the things I mentioned in that video specifically as well. If you're a good player, you can flex into any role you want. However, you will generally find yourself more defaulting to a specific play style. Like for me, it's difficult for me not to want to get in front, not to want to be the thing that's flanking, right? Because that's just how my mind works. I just want to get in the action. I just want to be that thing. I can play gamma. It's just uncomfortable for me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. Good example of this is like Overwatch, how you've got like the tank, the DPS, and the support, right? For me, I am either an aggressive tank or I'm the one doing the DPS. Those are the two things that I just naturally comes to me, right? Whereas something like support is just, I can do it. I'm not the greatest at it, and I just don't like doing it. I just don't have fun doing it, right? And, I think that answered that question. Electro's been real quiet here. Electro, do you have anything you want to throw in on this?
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty good examples. I mean, like, they're basically just like how Overwatch would do it, and just like the roles are just, I don't know, I guess they're meant for, anybody's particular playstyle.
Yep. And like I mentioned, it is sort of like, if I've had many people come to me and say, well, I don't really fit into any of this. And I say, describe how you play. And they describe how you play. Like, you just describe like word for word a gamma. Like,
right.
You might as well just copied and pasted what we have in our manual.
You know what? I took your little numbers test. You listed 4 lists of numbers. And I'm a gamma. I'm a gamma, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
And I'm not an omega. Sometimes I play like an omega. Some of my friends might say that because I kind of sit back. But Hazel, I want you to take this test, by the way.
I already did.
I can't believe how accurate it was. You have this.
I already took it.
Do you want to explain that, Mesome?
Sure. Yeah, I got to pull up the old notes on that.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That was literally just no. You're good. You're good. That was literally just. It was weird. It's one of those like shower thought moments.
Yeah. It was a great test.
There's no science to it whatsoever. Like a lot of people,
but it works. It works.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know why it works. It's just something I've observed. Right. It's just like, hey, I've noticed. So the test is. Let me see if I can find the notes. Hold on one second.
That's fine.
The test is basically that it's a multiple choice question. There's 4 different options. They each have different groups of numbers. Let's see if I've got it right here. So it's as follows. If I ask you to pick a number or group of numbers without any context as to why, what would you pick from the numbers below? Note, the groups of numbers have no intended relationship with one another. It is crucial that you do not let a favorite number influence your decision, right? So if, like, let's say number 7, like, I've got 3 7s in my name. Let's say that's my favorite number. I have to make sure that I don't let that influence what I pick here. And then the 4 options are option A, 7, 13, 40. Option B, 2, 4, 10. Option C, 3. And option D, 6, 1, and 0. And for whatever reason, it was just, like I said, was just one of those moments. I'm just sitting there and just had that thought, how these numbers, for whatever reason, relate to how our brains think about them. Like I said, there was literally zero science behind it, but it has been 95% accurate for a test that if it was false should be 25% accurate because there's 4 options, right?
Right.
Has been 95% accurate to all of the people who have sat down with it and have said, okay, this is my play style. This is the option that I picked,
Right.
you know, and you say, okay, what are you? And you say, I'm a gamma, right? And you say, okay, you picked 2, 4, and 10. Yes, I did. Right. And I can only give you pseudo explanations as to why it works in terms of like what I think is going on.
Right.
But it is really weird. It is really, really weird how it ends up working out.
It's
that way.
some
So
voodoo magic, man. It's voodoo.
Yeah, Gator, you said that you picked.
I pick Gamma. I'm definitely not a Kami Cakes. I'm more of a true Vanguard player. I tend to snipe and pulse rifle or snipe and sidearm, something like that. That's my play style. So, can you explain what a Gamma is for my buddy Warcry out there?
That's one of the positions we didn't get to. Gamma is a mid-map staggered sort of to the alpha. So think of the Gamma as sort of like a doppelganger to the beta. They're focused on different things, but the positioning is very similar. The responsibilities are defense. They're supplying suppressive fire and support abilities. And their main goal is to create a safety zone for the team to kind of regroup on or operate off of. Right? They're the, I'm going to be the fort, if that makes sense. I'm going to be the heart of the team. Right? I'm going to cover everybody as best I can. I'm going to try to play the dad or the mom or whatever as best as I possibly can. Try to keep everybody alive. And in games that support it, like Overwatch, where there are, my goodness.
It's all right.
I'm so sorry.
It's all post edited. Don't worry about it. I'll get that out.
Okay. Where
you're talking about Overwatch.
Yeah. In Overwatch, where you can actually get like support abilities, like that's actually like a clearly defined role. That's also your Gamma. So the positioning is actually exactly the same too. Between somebody who's holding down the lane with a heavy machine gun with something that has 60 rounds in the magazine, and somebody who's trying to keep you alive, the positioning is basically the same.
I play the tank,
subtly
by the way.
Different.
I play the tank in Overwatch.
Yep, and the tank is another one, right? Those all kind of fit in that similar kind of role.
Yep.
Right. So, in fact, here I got something for you. A little insider peek coming up on Monday's video.
Okay.
We have discovered. Are you ready for this? Are you sitting down?
I'm sitting down.
50% effectively, 50% damage resistance on a Titan build. What that means, in case that just went over your head, I can survive. Hold on, I've got my list from my notes from my last video. Not entirely inclusive of everything, but here's some of the main points. You can survive a 90 RPM sniper headshot, 2 shots in the body from an arbalist or a high impact sniper, a golden gun body shot, a Sunbreaker's hammer, a Arc Strider's heavy attack, a Night Stalker's heavy attack, 8 rounds from a high impact hand cannon, a 120 hand cannon,
8 rounds,
a freaking rocket, as well as so many other things.
Oh my god!
And
I can't wait to watch this.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun video. So we've discovered how to truly become like the ultimate Gamma unit.
I love it
in Destiny.
I have to know, Hazel. What did the test say you were?
It said I'm a Gamma.
Okay,
Gamma and Omega. It was like
Omega. That's a rare. Like, that's a rare case
on the case on the both there, like in the middle there. Just because I'm like I like to either support my team like right there, or I'm back, blocking choke points and stuff like that. Just because it's that's just more comfortable for me. I can't alpha for shit.
No, me neither. I know my limitations. I'm old too.
I don't know. I don't know, man. I've played with you, and you're like the smart alpha. You're like really tactical about it. You're always up front. You're always trying to flank.
Yeah,
them.
But that's the thing. That's my Call of Duty. I can't get when everyone goes one way, I go another way. That's just my Call of Duty and just embedded in my brain. But I'm curious, Electro. What are you, man?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
My role is an Omega. So
really, can you explain what an Omega is, Misum? I don't think we talked about that one yet.
He's the founder of it. So go ahead.
I'm sorry.
So quick, hold on. Well, before Electro gets into this, just a little quick aside.
Okay.
The 4 original clanmates, myself, J Food, Solid, and Electro, we each filled, like we were the vanguard essentially. We each discovered that we each had a completely unique play style.
Really?
Yep. And we were like, wait a minute, this is unusual. We should talk about this. And originally it was just 3. We thought that Solid was like J-Food and that they both played beta. But as we started getting into it, like, no, Solid is not, it's similar, but it's not quite the same. He plays more defensively, like whereas J-Food would have pushed in right there, Solid didn't. And the way he builds his play style is different. Like he was doing the whole Mambo Combo Night Stalker thing, right? That was his thing. And he was very much like, wait for them to kind of get into a position, then play defense, like just zone them out. So like, it's not quite beta. It's something else. It's close. So we sat down and we're like, okay, what do we call this new defensively focused role? Originally, we were going to call it Shaman because all these are all based off of like actual wolf pack names, right?
Sure.
Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Omega, right?
Right.
But we felt it broke up the nomenclature a little too much. Some people have suggested Delta, which is also pretty solid. But
I can see that.
For whatever reason, we ended up landing on Gamma and just ran with it at the time. And yeah, we each had our own, we each created and defined what this meant to the team, like what we were to the team, right? So Electro is the original Omega, so I'm sure he can give you more information.
I want to hear this.
All right. So an Omega is just basically like the farthest back of the team. Their kind of job is just Overwatch. Basically controlling like a certain zone, kind of like how Gammas do, but more like controlling what lanes people come from. So say like where like sniper lanes are, like mostly I control those lanes. And what's good for an Omega is to provide information for the team.
Call
outs. Like where an enemy is going, like say they're going on the left lane, they're going on the right lane,
right.
Somebody's flanking, etc. Right. Basically, giving the team information, because since I'm like in the farthest back, I basically have like the most view of the map, and so basically the most information. And you basically just, help out like from long range distances.
There's nothing. Go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say like you're basically supporting your Gamma, because your Gamma is supporting the Omega, because if somebody was to rush an Omega, like it's just over.
Yeah, exactly. So, I get that.
Yeah.
It's a symbiotic relationship, and there's nothing more satisfying as an alpha player when I'm essentially in a fist fight with somebody up on the front line, and then I hear that very distinct crack of a rifle, and then suddenly that person in front of me just drops to the ground. I'm like, thanks, Electro. Just give him that thumbs up from the distance, and he kind of gives me that wave from 70 meters back.
I love it. I love
it. That's awesome. Well, I've got a question for you about the Wolfpack roles and things like that. So, okay. So do you, I guess for maximum effectiveness, you would have at least one of each, or at least, Alpha, Gamma, and Omega anyway. But what if you don't have an Alpha on your team?
Yeah, this is when we get a lot.
That happens a lot too.
The first thing I would say is, do you have any betas on your team? If you do, have them flex into the more frontline position.
Right.
It's very, very, very powerful to have, especially in Destiny. So it's different for different games. Different games will support each role better. For example, we play Apex as well. Apex is much more supportive of a very bipolar play style. Like alphas and omegas are the strongest. Betas and gammas kind of get lost in the sauce.
Right.
But those two very sharp play styles tend to shine the most. For Destiny, it's alpha, beta, and then gamma are typically the more powerful ones. Omegas are a little bit harder to pull off, right? Because the game is so fast-paced and the maps are much smaller, right? But in the situation where you don't have an alpha, because of how powerful it is in Destiny to have one, I would recommend first and foremost, have one of your betas flex on to the alpha position. If they have to switch weapons, that's fine, right? If they think they can do it with their current weapon, that is fine as well. Right? Just whatever, if you can, go for it. If you don't think, if let's say your beta is like, nope, alpha, not my thing, not feeling it, it's not my thing today, I'm not up to it. Or let's say you've got nothing but gammas and omegas. At that point, you play hard into your defense and you make sure that, let's say you're playing control, that you hold the spaces as best as you possibly can, because you're going to have a hard time taking those spaces back, right? So you make sure that defense becomes your number one priority. So if you get 2 spaces, like, you know, A and B, that's it. Don't push C, right? You are completely satisfied with those 2 zones. You could even, and we've done this plenty of times, win an entire game with just 1 zone, right? And sometimes that might be the correct play, is just to say, you know what? This map is too damn large. We can't cover as much. We don't have enough men to cover the areas that we want to. We just can't, right? That's just too, we're just spread too thin. Let's just cover just this one space and just make it damn near impossible for them to get anything on us, right? Make them play our game, right? Make them break against that wall, right? That's a lot harder to pull off, and that requires a lot more coordination and teamwork, because you are explicitly missing tools, right? Even on defense, you want an alpha on defense just in case you need that type of that tool, right? But it absolutely is something you can pull off, and we've done it a few times against highly aggressive teams like triple stack and like Trials or something. Triple stacked alpha teams, we go, you know what? Let's just make them break against the wall, right? Let's just play a full Alamo and just hold space and control it as best we can, and just not push around, because that's just not where we're skilled.
I like that. The full Alamo. Huh. Interesting.
Well, I have a question while we're on this point. If you're a new clan, Guardian Downcast, and you are getting into a Crucible match, or you're initiating a Crucible match, how do you decide where everybody goes? I mean, how do you, as a clan, how do you get started in that? Do you start labeling people as you see them playing a game? Does someone have to be in charge of this? I'm just curious. How do you get the ball rolling on this?
Sure. Absolutely. Yep. So there will be one personality in the group. Typically it's the alphas, just because of their alpha, that will end up taking command. They'll be the person who ends up primarily commanding. We generally encourage the alpha players to do so, because they're the closest to the action. They have the finger on the pulse of like what immediately is happening a little bit better, right? Okay. The Omega is able to give a much broader scope, and the Alpha and the Omega, if they're able to communicate, can essentially get information on the entire battle, right? Just between the two of them, right? Because one's right on top of him and literally is able to see he turned left around this corner or right around this corner, and the Omega can say, yes, and you've got somebody flanking from your opposite side, from your east or your west or whatever, right?
Right.
But generally speaking, you're going to have one person who is sort of taking command. They're just by the nature of their personality. The goal is that before the match even starts, you should have established who is playing what roles. And generally speaking, what we do is that in, let's say, sixes, right? Six is most common, is we will have generally a split of the backline holding whatever home flag is, maybe two of the backline holding home flag, depending on how big the map is.
Right.
And they can just call that out. Like, we load into the match, I'll say, I need two backline on C, everyone else with me on B, right? And two people will say, got it, and they'll go over and take care of that. They'll play defense on that. We'll worry about the B flag. Right. Sometimes you have to, make those kind of audibles, right? You have to call out, okay, backline's getting more assaulted than normal, or maybe frontline needs more help. And then you can change people around as needed. And then you can start making those specific call outs for things like, the suppressant flanks, the Alamos, the full dives, the frag outs, the bait and pulls, right? As you're going about it. Or if it's a round based thing, such as Trials of Osiris or competitive, you can lead in with a specific strategy that you want to do based off of what roles you have available to you, like what units you have available to you. You can make a play happen. So, suppressant flank being a more aggressive, like, I guess that's probably like a nice balance between the two. If I were to pick one that was like sort of the middle ground, let's say you've got a few middle of the pack players like gammas or betas, maybe one Omega or something, and you've got some frontline players, like a suppressant flank might be what's best for your team. Right. And it's also dependent on how your enemy is reacting. So if your enemy's bad at handling, let's say, a full dive, right, then just keep abusing that specific tactic. Right. Or let's say you just don't have the tools to do something like a bait and pull. Right. Then just, follow up with just play the Alamo strategy. And sometimes this can be called up before the match happens, during the match. It's all about what is needed at the time. Right. If that makes sense.
Yeah. And you have videos on all these different things, full dive and Alamo. I tell you what, I have scoured YouTube on Destiny topics, and I have not seen anybody do this. I mean, I so want our clan to do what you guys are doing, because it's to be organized going into a Crucible match, even though it seems more like work, But once everybody gets a hold of this idea and realizes their roles and what they do, I think it's going to be more fun for everybody.
Well, winning is always fun.
Well,
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Winning is more fun.
No, I get that, but I just seen nothing like this. Is why I contacted you. I've seen nothing like this on the internet about team tactics in Destiny, and I'm sure there's somebody out there I haven't seen, but what you're doing here is just really cool, man. I mean, I see this really taking off for you guys because you have a great close clan. Everything, you're including your members in your videos, and those awkward moments when unknown Electro says something. You guys take turns on saying something on a rock, like on a video, and then unknown Electro gets up there and says something, and oh my god, it gets real quiet and awkward, and it's just a great comedic moment. So.
I should give you the lore, our definitely not made up lore on who Electro is and where he came from, if you don't mind.
Sure, go for it.
Yeah, of course.
So the clan, when it started to get a little bit bigger, we because Electro's definitely a personality. We came up with this idea. I think it started from somebody saying, like, somebody in our clan named Lizard, an old friend, an old member, who's again moved out of gaming, was jokingly saying that Freedom, another person out of clan, was his mom, right? Which Freedom's a dude, but anyway,
right.
It was just a joke, right? It's just the joke.
Sure.
And then we're like, okay, if Lizard's the child, I guess Mesome would be the dad. All right. And Electro's got to be one of the children as well. Mm-hmm. And it was like, no, Electro's too different. So then we came up with this elaborate backstory for Electro where Freedom and I created an artificial intelligence, the click on the head war machine. Like, he was designed to be essentially like a war mind, like another Rasputin. Right?
Sure.
And for whatever reason, however it happened, he found his way onto Reddit and started rapidly consuming and replicating memes, and we couldn't stop him. And he was too powerful. We couldn't unplug him. We couldn't reboot him. It was that's just how it ended up happening. So ever since then, the joke is that Electro is like an actual bot, like a literal bot, like both in the game in terms of being able to click heads really good, as well as just,
sure.
He's just a soundboard. He's a living soundboard. I mean, he'll I'm sure as we get talking, he'll give you some of his favorites.
Sure.
But,
and his flat,
there's one.
His flat pan, just really straight comedy really works. I can't explain it, but
I mean, we love Electro. Like, we have a thing where we say, if you don't like Electro, we probably don't like you, right? Because Electro's like the perfect embodiment of like what we are, right? Because he's I treat him like a brother, right? Then on top of that, he's hilarious. He doesn't take anything too seriously, right? Because we think that you're supposed to play a game to have fun, and if you're sweating your balls off every single moment and you're getting salty and you're getting pissed off, you aren't having fun. You should stop playing the video game, right? And at the same time, you can get serious when you need to and really focus in and get those call outs and get like everybody coordinated into a lethal amount of precision, right? So if you don't like Electro, we probably don't like you. And in fact, everybody that hasn't liked Electro has not made it into the clan because it's just not a good fit.
Right.
That's funny.
I have one question, and Hazel, don't get mad at me here, but the engine question.
The engine.
Destiny's new, quote, engine. You talked about it on your Yeetcast, which is one of your video podcasts that you guys do, where you just kind of free form the conversation. And I watched it. I watched your video, and I was impressed with how you said how you said things were put together. Do you have any? What is your opinion? Because I've been lauded in my community that I've always been saying that there's been a new engine, and that's the reason why there's so many bugs in the game. But what's your opinion? I'm curious.
So it's technically not a new engine. That's why I see a lot of people make the mistake. It's not an engine. It's a new host. It's a new engine is. It's a new script. It's a new scripting language, essentially, if that makes sense. So
yep.
I think of the way they described it in the Yeetcast is like the best analogy I could give was that the scripting host is a way for the engine of the actual game. So imagine it's a car. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The scripting host is like the gauges of that car, as well as some of the dials and the levers and such that you might be able to push and pull.
Sure.
It's not actually how the game operates. It's what it essentially is, what the game can push and pull and how it's able to handle information. And they've also handled some other stuff on a separate topic where they're able to streamline how they get out patches and such. But it's confusing because it's called, it's the physics host, and they used to be on what did they used to call? What was the old one called? I forget.
It was the mission host, right?
Mission host, yeah.
You completed a mission and it was done. Yeah,
it's different. So essentially what that means, for example, there is a lost sector in the middle of Europa. It's the one, see if I can
Perdition?
describe this. What was that?
Perdition? One with the Vex in it?
No, it's one with Fallen, and the last one you fight.
Concealed Veil or Concealed Veil?
Yes, I think that one. I think that's the one. There's like Vex milk on the bottom, and you kind of like work your way through. And there's this one section where a bunch of the exploding shanks come out all at once.
Yep.
Yeah. So in the old system, the first door you encounter, that's like the first barrier, the first hard door that you encounter, you have to be able to, clear the enemies out before that door will open. In the old system, you had to just kill whatever the mission host had selected as the primary target, right? Whatever, generally speaking, probably like a major or something.
Yellow bar, yeah.
Right? Now with this new system, they can say, no, you have to kill absolutely everything in that room before that door will open, right? It allows them to get more precise with how they actually handle interactions and encounters, which is why you're able to see some more interesting and unique stuff that's coming out, such as even if it's simple stuff, like some of the stuff that's coming out with the Clovis Bray missions and such, like more intricate stuff with that. How the Dead Man's Tale mission was, I'm sure, was also another one of those things. Like you see a lot of interesting and unique moving parts in that we've never really seen in other places outside of things like raids. But because that type of information is more readily and accessible to them, they can do more of this stuff easier. That's the big thing, is that this makes creating and designing specifically PvE encounters, as well as some stuff that they can do in PvP, a lot more precise in how they can do it, and a lot easier in how they can do it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes total sense.
Nice.
So
maybe Gator will stop mentioning the damn engine.
All right, fine. I'll let it go. I had to get my 2 cents in here because I watched
Get
his.
your 2 cents in that you're wrong. I appreciate that.
No,
It's very,
no, I'm not wrong. It's. I give up. I'm throwing the towel.
I'm just going to clip that. I'm just going to clip it where he said it's not a new engine, and then
just keep repeating it.
Yeah, so it's an overloaded term, right?
Yes, I know.
I have a degree in computer science, right? That's what I'm going to school for.
Right.
There is a lot of overloaded terms, like a lot of words that mean two things, right? So it's just unfortunately one of the times that the normies, the people who don't do the computer science stuff, have to experience one of these overloaded terms, because it's not necessarily a game engine that has changed. It is the scripting that has changed, the scripting host, the scripting engine that has changed. So it's like an appendage, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I made the before Beyond Light came, I made it publicly known that because Bungie was getting pretty chummy with Microsoft, I thought they were going to use their new Slipstream engine, but I failed miserably, crashed and burned on that one. But oh well, it's the way it goes. I mean, hey, I have broad predictions, and when they're right, it's glorious, and when they're wrong, I go down in flames. So
that's how you do it, man. You live on the edge. I
got to do it.
That.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, hey, I have a question here.
Go ahead, man.
Regarding the YouTube content that you guys do. So, what's the best and worst thing about doing it? How long does it take? Like, kind of that kind of thing to do like one video.
Yeah. So, best part about it is, man, it is very enjoyable to do. I really enjoy it. I wouldn't do it if I didn't enjoy it, but there are plenty of times, especially when the game's in a low spot, where I have more fun making the videos than I actually do like recording them, if that makes sense. So like actually going out and getting the footage is worse for me than actually sitting down with the editor and just making something enjoyable to watch. Right. Probably the hardest part about it is the looming presence of trying, for me specifically, trying to get this into a position where it is self-sustaining, where I can get this as like a regular set of income from just YouTube ad revenue and such, whatever, right? Get the channel big enough, right? Just to try to grow it to that point so it's there, right? As well as the always fun feeling when somebody or a group, like, you don't get the views on the video that you would like, right? You put a lot of heart into this, right, and you put it up, you're like, this is going to be it. This is going to be a huge video. Everyone's going to love this. And it gets like a third of your normal viewage. You're like, oh, my heart. Yeah. That's definitely the hardest part.
Sometimes there's no rhyme or reason. Sometimes that's just the timing, or it's just weird how that goes. But
I'm learning more about it as we're going along. I would definitely say, like, so the second channel is an excellent example of how the lessons that I've learned coming from the normal channel, from the first channel, because we've been at this for like a year and a half, just doing nonchalant, just whatever uploads to the channel, to the more serious stuff that you guys have seen now, the more polished that you guys have seen now. But the second channel is definitely like, okay, this is a fresh start. This is a fresh channel. How, because YouTube is an algorithm, right? We always talk about the algorithm. And there are certain things that I won't get into here because it'll be a whole nother 3-hour long conversation.
Sure.
Yeah. But there are certain things that go into that where having a fresh start can be really, really helpful, especially if you kind of already know what you're doing and how to work that algorithm a little bit, which on the second channel, thank God, every video I've put up, I've gained 100 subs. Most of it's from TDT. Wow. But even then, right, that's very consistent growth. One video, 100 subs. Praise the Lord. Like, I would love for it to stay on that track, right?
Right.
So we'll see.
Well, what do you think? Hazel? We'll wrap up with our signature questions here.
Sure. Yeah, we can do that.
All right. Why don't you start with one?
All right. So, do you have any hobbies, both of you, other than gaming?
Electro, you can go first. I'll let you lead the. I'll let you be the alpha in this scenario for once. Go ahead. You have the floor.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you go first.
My hobby, huh? I like to work out. Recently I haven't been doing it, but I used to be such a, or I should say, I was mostly addicted to working out, like weight training in high school, and ever since, like, I just kept doing weight training. And yeah, I think that's one of my hobbies. Yeah.
It's a good swole, let me tell you.
That's a good obsession to have, let me tell you.
Yeah.
For me, I would say kind of two things. Game design first and foremost. I love like sitting down and either just breaking apart of like what makes something tick. And for me, I play piano. I love music, and piano is one of my
nice.
Oh, that's something we don't know.
Outlets for that.
Very cool. All right, I have to ask it, Hazel. I gotta have to ask to both of you guys, but I'll start with mesome777. Dude, right. What's up with the gamer tag?
It ended up working out lately again for the second channel. Like, I was able to figure out a clever way to make it look like a nice emblem, but legitimately this emblem is like, or this tag I should say, is like 15 years old. I don't know why it, like, I decided at the time that I was so awesome. I was very full of myself. I still kind of am, but I decided at the time that I was so awesome that the word awesome was not enough. Like, I needed to find a way to describe myself in a way that only I could do it. So I am so awesome. I am mesome.
Oh,
that's how it came. That's how
I get it. I get it now. I get it.
Yeah. Wow. It just ended up, and it's just stuck.
And the 7's because of Bungie. I'm assuming, right?
No, actually,
no?
It's not. It was literally because mesome was taken. You'd be surprised. Mesome was taken. I'm like, mother effers. Okay, I'll do something that looks cool, or I was like 12 or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, 3 7s, and yeah, people have told me later, like, oh, like Bungie loves the number 7. I'm like, Yeah, that's why I did it. Yeah.
That's what I assumed. I guess that's the problem. Well, Unknown Electro, I have to ask you, man. What's up with the gamer tag?
Yeah, so the very first word, unknown, growing up, I kind of liked that word because, I don't know, I guess, I don't know, I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm kind of a superior, but like, I'm kind of unique, and I don't know,
You're
like...
definitely unique.
And so, I don't know, the word unknown just kind of fits me, and I guess it resonates with me, and... Yeah, and then the electro is just the music that I like, and yeah.
Oh,
I forgot about that.
Electro.
That's right.
Like that synth though. I love it.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so yeah.
I like it.
Thanks.
All right. So, do you have a motto or mantra that you guys like?
Well, the clan motto is I think it's changed lately. Let me actually double check the manual, but I know that our original manual was the task ahead of me is never as strong as the team behind me.
I like that.
I think we've recently changed it though. Let me see if I can find it. Do we have our motto in here?
That's a cool motto.
No, I don't think we do anymore.
That is such a cool motto. I got to remember that one, Hazel.
I think we do though. I think it's the potato
it's somewhere.
one.
What was that?
I think it's the potato one.
Oh yeah, there's the potato one too. Or it's like we grow each other to be better than the potato we once were, right? But always for me it would be the task ahead of me is never as strong as the team.
I love that one, man. That's very good. Awesome. What about you, Electro?
For like the clan or just myself?
Yourself,
just
man.
Any life,
anything,
you know.
You know, I don't really got one, to be honest.
It's okay. Not everybody does.
No.
True.
All right. Well, I will close out the interview here with my favorite question. This is addressed to both you guys, and Mesome, you can go first. What is one thing about you that no one knows? And I mean, obviously, privacy, but
big or small.
Yeah.
But something quirky or something maybe that people don't know about you. That's an exclusive.
Man, I'm a pretty open book, honestly.
Everybody says that, and then they think of one.
Well, because here's the thing. I've told them about this, but I have a past that I'm not necessarily proud of.
Okay.
And nobody will ever get more of that information out of me, but that is part of it, I guess. And everybody always thinks like, oh, you're so edgy. It's like, no, it's just kind of a fact of life. Well, okay, here's your fact. Not everybody who gets to know me better will know this, but this is not something I lead with. I am a very devout Christian, as best as I could possibly be. I'm a very devout Christian.
Good. Okay.
And that's something that I don't, try to beat people over the head with in my videos and such.
I totally get that.
Yeah, but my goal is to try to live my life in a way that demonstrates that life, demonstrates, the love of Jesus.
Your faith. Right? Yeah, faith. Yeah.
Right. And then let that conversation come naturally rather than trying to, just because I think that's awkward. I think it's better to develop a relationship with somebody and then, hey, let's have this conversation. Like, this is obviously like a very deep conversation, right? About religion or beliefs or worldviews, or whatever it may be, right?
You mean you don't want to knock on people's doors on a Saturday morning?
No,
not calling out anybody here, but we get it. No offense to those who believe that, but I just think it's obtrusive.
I've always wanted, because primarily that's like a Jehovah's Witness thing, right? I've always wanted to get into that, and that's okay too. We've got people like the clan. The clan is non-discriminatory. Like we have literally everybody from literally every walk of life, literally all over the planet. I think the only country we are missing is like Russia or like Africa or like an African country. Wow. But we have people literally from everywhere.
That is so cool.
Wow.
But
don't worry, I'm striking that comment.
No, you're okay. I was just gonna say, I've always wanted to have that conversation with someone. I've always wanted them. They never seem to come to the door when I'm at home.
Oh man, that's awesome. Well, I have to ask the same question of Unknown Electro. What's one thing about you that nobody knows?
I don't know. I mean, I think most people know this about me, but maybe I'm wrong. But I'm a meat lover, and yeah,
He does love
it's
meat.
it's a funny story because my family likes to make a lot of soup, and I'm malnutrition as hell.
This man has lived on primarily soup for like 6 years, and it is hilarious. He
Oh my
always like,
God.
my mom's making the soup. I don't want soup.
No more broth, Mom. Come on.
It's hilarious.
Put some meat in it.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
exactly.
Well, hey, gentlemen.
Electro. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry, I
No.
cut you off.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off. You want to say something else?
Oh, I was gonna say, Electro. When we finally do meet up IRL, when we finally bridge that gap, bro, we are gonna get you so much meat. Like we're gonna go. It's gonna be like a freaking like Old Testament slaughter. We're gonna just fry up so much meat for you, man. We're talking beef. We're talking chicken. We're talking fish. We're talking lamb. We're talking you name it. We're gonna get you some freaking meat, my friend.
Well,
No, I'm already getting hungry, to be honest.
yeah, I might need to go to the kitchen for a minute. Well, gentlemen, thank you very much for sharing your life with us and your clan with us. I think you guys have something very special, and that's the reason I wanted our listeners to hear your story, because this is something really cool. I mean, you guys are creating such a great example for a lot of clans out there, and I strive toward our clan reaching at least something of what you guys resemble, because I love that what you guys are doing and how you guys are going about it. So, well, good on you guys.
Thank you. We try.
Yeah.
We try.
Well, Hazel, is it that time?
I think so.
All right. Speed run is next. We'll do that right after this.
Call the Praxic Order, call the Thanatonauts, the Jinsen Scribes, call everyone so they can witness you.
Okay, listeners, this segment is called the Speed Run. This is where we have a database of over 250 randomly asked questions, and both of these guys here today will have 90 seconds to answer as many as they can. These are short 1 or 2 word answers, and at the end of the year, the guest with the most answers will win a prize and the title of 2021 Speedrun Champion. The questions are randomly asked, so no one can memorize the order, and just, answer what quickly comes to mind. That's the best rule of thought. Tonight, I'm going to ask the questions randomly from the list. Hazel is going to be our timekeeper and our quality control expert. In the event of a questionable answer, Hazel's decision will be final. Star 10 is our current leader at 39. So, Misa, why don't you go first? You ready?
Sounds good. Ready.
Ready, Hazel?
Yes, sir.
3, 2, 1. Warlock, Titan, or Hunter?
Warlock.
Morning person or night owl?
Night owl.
Void, solar, arc, or stasis?
Void.
What is your favorite Destiny planet?
Venus.
DC or Marvel?
Marvel.
Cake or pie?
Pie every day.
Freelance solo strikes in Destiny?
Sure. Why not? I'd do freelance.
Name one thing you would change about yourself.
I wish I was more fearless.
Lefty or righty?
Righty.
Who's the bigger badass, Shax or Saladin?
Saladin probably, but I mean, Shax would probably give him a
Okay.
money for sure.
Extrovert or introvert?
Technically introvert.
What is your favorite breakfast cereal?
Golden Grams.
Playing cards or board games?
Board games.
Number 1 or number 2?
Probably number 1.
Do you have a tattoo?
Nope.
What is your favorite dinosaur?
Velociraptor.
Pineapple on pizza?
Hell no.
Anna Bray or 801?
8-1.
What is your first music album or download?
Probably Queen's Greatest Hits.
Good job. All right, time travel or teleportation?
Teleportation.
What's the worst job you've ever had?
I've only had 2, and that would be working at an antique shop.
M&Ms or Smarties?
M&M's every day.
What weapon slot do you use as an exotic?
Primary.
Spock or Data?
Spock.
Tacos or burritos?
Burritos.
Bubble or well?
Bubble probably.
Describe yourself in one word.
Committed.
Time.
Very nice, man. That was not bad at all. We'll save the results till we let Unknown Electro go here. So, Unknown Electro, let me pull my alternate list up here that I have created for you. And hopefully it won't cut out. And we'll ask you. You ready?
Not really, but yeah, sure.
You got 90 seconds. So just whatever comes to mind.
I don't know what I signed up for.
Yeah, he probably didn't. All right, here we go. All set, Hazel?
Yes, sir.
3, 2, 1. Warlock, Titan, or Hunter?
Hunter.
Horror movies, yes or no?
No.
What's your lucky number?
7.
If you had more time, what would you do with it?
Probably work out.
Garth Brooks or Led Zeppelin?
I don't even know who those two are, so I'm going to go with Led Zeppelin.
Is racing a sport?
Yes.
Water balloon fight or food fight?
Water balloon fight.
Would you rather be famous or unknown? I think I know that answer.
Unknown.
Have you ever been camping?
Yes.
Extrovert or introvert?
Introvert.
Apple or Android?
Android.
What's your favorite restaurant?
The Mexican restaurant that's right near me.
Okay, that's
it's
good.
called like tacos.
That's good. Monster or Red Bull?
Red Bull, sorry.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Do aliens exist?
Perhaps.
What's your favorite dinosaur?
I don't know what a dinosaur is.
do you like black licorice?
I don't drink.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
What's better, the book or the movie?
The movie.
Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Wars.
What's the worst job you've ever had?
Let's see, what's the worst job? Being a landscaper.
Taking King or Forsaken?
Taking King.
What's your spirit animal? Probably a robot. Right?
A bear.
Paper or plastic?
Wait, what was the question?
Paper or plastic?
Paper.
All right.
All right.
Good job, guys. You did really well. Hazel,
I was laughing my ass off. Electro's answers. We're over here muted, just laughing my ass off.
Do you like black licorice? No, I don't drink.
I don't drink.
I love it. I love it.
The most Electro response you could have given.
That sounds just like Electro. Yeah. All right, Hazel. Let's start with Mesome. How did he do?
27.
That's
damn.
Really? That's very good, man.
That's very good.
Yeah, believe me.
I spent too much time on the Shaqs versus Saladin debate.
That's all right. You know what? Startian's not even human. I don't know how she got that many, but we'll figure that out later. All right. So how about Unknown Electro? How did he do, Hazel?
24.
All right. Good job, man. No, that's very good. You've never done this before. So, yeah. It's your first time doing it. We have people who have come back, and we've been podcasting for a couple of years now, and we have a lot of guests that come back, and they study up. They're ready for it. So.
Yeah. So. I just wanted to beat Mesome.
Yeah, boy.
That's all right.
We'll have to have you back.
Yeah, there we go. Rematch. There you go.
Take 2.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. We appreciate it. We're just having some fun. Just a quick way of getting to know you. All right. I have a question for all you listeners out there. Do you have a great question for our speedrun? If that's a yes, join our Discord and put them in our speedrun question ideas channel. Yes, we're going to do it again for 2021. We'll add them to next year's speedrun. Just remember that they have to be yes or no, 1 or 2 word answers. Either or questions will also be accepted. At the end of the year, we're having a drawing for 2 $25 gift cards of your choice for 2 lucky people. And you can enter up to 5 questions to go into the drawing. So good luck with that. All right. Sounds good. So let's move on to This Week at Bungie. All right, ladies and gents. This week at Bungie, 4th week of Season of the Chosen. Hazel, what do we got this week, man?
All right. So, Grandmaster Nightfalls are going to launch on March 16th. Starting, minimum power is going to be 1325. So, hop into that if you want to get some adept, weapons like Palindrome, Shadow Price, the Swarm that nobody wants. And next after that is going to be a patch note preview. It's pretty light twab besides the patch notes here preview anyway. So they're fixing some shit with the Fallen Saber Strike, Devil's Lair, some armor stuff there. Weapons, only 1 keynote here, and that's going to be Arbalist, Aim Assist, making it harder to hit headshots.
Thank you, Bungie.
Yeah, Yeah, it does get annoying after a while to get killed by that.
Yeah.
But also, else is annoying is about a preview for March 23rd, which is going to be where...
no.
Yeah, exactly. It's the ice show.
We're gonna nerf your stasis. Poor thing.
Yeah, I'm super salty about all of these nerfs. But hey, I get it. People are really upset about stasis and how it's overpowered because, hey, I'm man enough to admit it. It is overpowered.
Okay.
So hunters are getting the nerf hammer hit on them. So fun fact, Shatter Dive, main thing here, added a 4-second cooldown. Damage resistance to Shatter Dive has been removed. Withering Blade, which is my love and my life.
And a crutch. Sorry, did I say that out loud? Damn it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, this is coming from a warlock.
What do we got? We got ice bolts that just go past. No, they just go past the player as I shoot them at them. Yours bounce off walls and have aim assist. Come on.
It's glorious.
Jesus.
So Withering Blade has been decreased from 90 to 65 damage. PvE is unchanged. A lot of these changes are mainly for PvP, which is fantastic. I'm so glad that they're distancing, or that they're able to differentiate between PvE versus PvP.
Yeah, I was thinking of you when I read this because finally they're tuning just for the Crucible now. I love it.
Exactly, which was beyond me why they never did it before.
Well, they have a new engine now.
Oh my god! All right, so Titans removed AOE freeze. And on, when it's cast. Aside from that, they reduced damage resistance while in super from 60 to 50%. They increased the energy cost of Shiver Strike from 3 to 7. There's all that good stuff.
So basically,
there.
The Titans can't go back and forth between spawns while in super and kill people twice.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So, Warlocks are actually getting a bunch of buffs, actually, because they got pretty hit hard with the nerf hammer earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So they're getting a couple buffs. That's good stuff. They are getting one nerf, thank God, to the annoying Chaos Reach, where you can cancel it. And they decreased... Don't you do that to me.
There's nothing wrong with Chaos Reach until we had to use it to stop stasis.
Wah. So... All right, so they decrease the amount of energy that's going to be refunded when canceling Chaos Reach, which is fantastic. Duskfield grenades are getting hit as well, so they're decreasing the size on that from 9.5 to 6 meters, which is very cool regarding the pull range.
Right.
And besides that, they're adjusting how slow is going to work with it. Stasis crystals, when they shatter, it's unfortunately it's not going to. It's going to hurt. It's not going to do much else. It's not going to kill too much anymore.
No.
So that's going to be a good thing there. PvE damage is unchanged. Thank you, Bungie.
Thank you.
Whisper of Chains, Whisper of Torment. Those are basically, Whisper of Chains is getting a slight nerf there, from 25 to 5.
Sorry.
Whisper of Torment, they're fixing a bug with that. And then last but not least here is going to be the Stasis Fragment quest. They're going to significantly
thank you.
Be lowered the core requirements there for the Crucible.
Yeah, people have other characters they have to complete this stuff on.
No. I've never selected Crucible because it's such a pain to do it. Yeah. Okay, so 2 last things here. One is Dinosaurs 1. So, there we go.
Duh.
Obviously, yeah. Sorry for anybody who's rooted for the movie monster.
Yeah, but well, hold on. But they did say something, and this was my thought when they were doing the voting. Why can't we have both? Have one pay and one drop in the regular whatever missions they're going to put in that we have to complete so many kills with this and that to get them, to unlock them. Why not have both? And they kind of alluded to that. They said, "Don't worry, we have. They might show up as ornaments later." So they kind of already alluded that it's going to be out. Both are going to be coming out anyway, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
At some point, maybe 2022s.
What?
Done.
What?
Yeah. So, all that being said, last thing here is simply the cutscene. The cutscene where Crow ends up saving Zavala from getting sniped. And then he vanishes. So, yeah. So that's a cool cutscene. Make sure to, if you haven't seen it, to log in, get to, what is it, week, whatever we're on,
5
to do this.
It's the 5th mission, I think, right? Yeah.
Yep. So make sure to get on there and do that. And that's pretty much everything there.
Hey gang, just a quick reminder. We now have a Destiny 2 clan, and Hazel and I invite you to be a part of it.
If you're looking to find a clan, now would be a great time to jump in and get to know some of these people that you've heard on the show. And we're not hardcore, so you don't have to worry about, us slave driving you to do raids and shit like that. Enjoying your time is basically all that we ask.
So, if you're looking for a clan out there, we have a permanent link in our Discord under our channel GDC Destiny 2 Clan, where you can find a link. Otherwise, look for Guardian Downcast or DOWN is our call sign.
We do ask that you join our Discord first, so that way we can communicate clan nights and things along those lines. And aside from that, you can lurk all you like.
Thanks very much, gang.
So, what do you guys think?
Mesome, Unknown Electro, what do you guys think of all these changes coming to stasis?
These stasis changes cannot come fast enough. Thank the Traveler. I am so sick of getting cross-mapped from around a corner by a withering blade.
Oh my god. Yes.
Done. I am just done. It's what kills me. The patch before is they're like, okay, we nerfed some things on the stasis hunter, so the Revenant hunter. So here's what we're gonna do to help balance it out. And we're gonna balance out the withering blade as well. Don't worry about that. We made it so that it just deals headshot damage just by default. You know, that's totally cool. And I'm like, excuse me? No, that's not better. That's worse. So stasis, as a primary PvP player, as a player who spent around 1,500 hours in Destiny 2 alone playing PvP, stasis has been the absolute thorn in the side of the majority of the player base. If you're using it, even the players, that's the thing. I always find this funny because a lot of the times players will defend something if it's their thing, even if they, might maybe think that it's a little bit strong. Like I'll throw Bastion out as an example. Bastion's very strong and people will adamantly defend it, right? But it's not being nerfed, right? It's fine. All right, fine. But stasis is one of those things that even Hazel was reasonable enough here to say it's just a few nerfs, because it is just that insane. And it's interesting. Yeah. So my predictions, meta predictions, calling it here, you're hearing it from me some first. Either one of two things is going to happen. Either A, nothing is going to change. The exact same meta is going to happen, or a very slight variation of it. Or B, Warlocks are going to be the thing. I'm calling it here.
Really?
For sure.
What?
Yes.
The Warlock melee is incredibly outshined by the other stasis stuff. However, it is basically an insta-win.
Hold on, Teach. I got a question. I'll be winning a gun battle, and all of a sudden a little shuriken will come my way, and I'll lose. How's that any different?
That's what I'm saying. Like you're getting outshined right now. Like, don't get me wrong. The stasis shurikens right now are absolutely insane. That doesn't necessarily negate the fact that the Warlock melee is still very, very strong. And what I call bubble meta. If everything else gets pushed down a bit, the bubble will be just like how we saw with Chaos Reach. The bubble meta will be that will rise to the top, and that will be the thing that everybody uses. And I'm calling it here. If anything changes at all, if these nerfs are significant enough, obviously, we could try to sit down and analyze each individual part. This is going to happen here, but we won't know until we really get our hands on it, right? Feel has a lot to do with that, right? But I'm willing to bet that if things are significant enough as a change, I'm willing to bet that Warlocks will be the next meta.
Yep, exactly.
My prediction?
Magic BS.
My prediction, nothing's going to change.
We'll see. It's one of the two. It's one of the two, in my opinion. I don't think there's a third option, I guess is the point I'm trying to make, is that there won't be like Titans are suddenly like, the thing, right?
Titans will still be hard to kill at 50% resistance. I mean, that's a lot.
Good.
The fact that they dance all over the place, you can't even shoot them. Electro, I'm curious, what's your opinion, man? What do you think?
On stasis?
Yeah.
I don't know. When it first came out, I didn't really have any troubles with it because usually I'm an Omega and I don't really get into the action up close. But recently, it's like, I don't know, I guess it's gotten like really bad. And I don't know, hearing these nerfs it sounds pretty good. And especially the Withering Blade from Hunter is like that. Yeah, like there's so many times when one of the members from our clan like literally just tossed that around the corner, and it's just like
exactly
half.
And Electro, they get not one, but they get two of these damn things. What the hell?
And it slows you down, and it reduces your weapon handling, and it reduces your weapon reload speed, and it reduces your weapon accuracy.
Your handling and accuracy, yes.
And it freezes you if I hit twice.
Yeah, if you hit two of them, it freezes you. Like, you can literally and the person's dead.
It's so awful.
Jeez.
So glad to see this stuff.
It's the main reason why Hazel, which is a Titan main, is now a Hunter main, just because of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The truth comes out, Hazel.
See?
I've said it. I've damn you know? Because it's so much fun to use. It is. Okay, now, wait, before we go any further, I guess we have to say this. What do you guys main?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, really. We didn't ask that, did we?
So, my thing, if you guys have seen some of especially the older stuff, my thing is I love finding off-meta builds. My whole shtick in Crucible is finding weird and unusual things and kicking so much ass with it should be a war crime.
Good. My
main go-to build, if you're like dropping in, you don't know what you're going to fight, is I will main Middle Tree Nova Warp. Yeah, the non-IP defining subclass, the one that Bungie was talking about. Oh, maybe we get rid of it. You know, that one, right? I'm still pissed off about that. Yep. I mean, that Astrocyte Burst, Mida Multi-Tool, a shotgun. It happens to be Fellwinter's right now. People always give me crap for that. Bungie sunset my freaking good bone structure. Okay, I would be running a precision slug. They took that away from me. And I'm not joking when I say I am the fastest thing in the Crucible. Like, the only thing that can catch me right now is Behemoth Super. That is the only thing that can catch me. I will outrun everything else. And it is terrifying having... So here's the fun part. Especially before handheld was nerfed, I am capable, like on a control match, game starts. I am capable of getting from one side of the map to the other side of the map and handholding the entire team before they finish capping the flag. That's how fast it is. Yeah.
Warlock Blink is fantastic, isn't it?
I ran into that. Actually, I don't know what the hell happened.
Astrocyte Verse. It's Astrocyte Verse. It's a reduced cooldown. It's a reduced cooldown between blinks.
Yeah, it was Ron and I, all thumbs, and it was that game where you got out, Gator, and then we loaded in, and we're like, okay, well, we'll just go cap A, and then we were going to just leave, just so we could, be dicks. But so we ran to A, and we were standing there, and all of a sudden, this I think it was a Titan came in with a smash. And it was like the start of the game. And he ended up wiping out like 4 of us.
Probably with Middle Tree.
Yeah. But
Code of the Missile, maybe.
Like, where did he come from? We didn't even get to like 100%.
Wow, that's fast.
You can do it, yeah. That build and the Code of the Missile, you can do it. You can get a team wipe off the rip. Nobody expects it. It's like the Spanish Inquisition. Nobody's expecting it.
It's my favorite subclass. I don't even use Stasis on my Titan. I use Code of the Missile. It's so much fun.
Yeah. Anyway, Electro's probably gonna say his thing.
Yeah. What's up? What do you mean, Electro?
Well, just recently I just made a new build, and so I run Hunter. And I used Bottom Tree Golden Gun with the weighted knives. Okay. And I use Arthur's Embrace, which is the trick-shotting 9001 aim assist from Call of Duty. Yeah, so I'm using that. And then I'm also running like a sniper and a No Time to Explain, so that when I do get precision headshots, I have a little arc buddy with me, and it's protecting me and shooting people.
That's
and yeah.
the knives are the most annoying thing in the universe. They're worse than stasis shurikens because they deal like ridiculous amounts of damage, or they could just kill you outright. I hate it's so annoying.
Well,
Yeah.
If he's sitting in the back and he has pretty much long range weapons, that's his only way of shutting down a shotgun.
I mean, Electro is the king of the no scope melee. Like he will see you sliding into you with the shotgun.
Really?
Like, okay, and he'll just slide back and just no scope body shot in the melee. Just like there you go.
I can't pull that off. Sorry, I love sniping. I can't pull that off. No way. That takes practice. Lots of practice. Hey,
awesome. I've got to throw in one thing here because we're going to talk about. I know you guys want to talk about the additions to the Spotify playlist. Mm-hmm. So the first song that I suggested is that first build's theme song. Like that's kind of how I do it. Like that's how I get myself in the mood, right? Mm-hmm. The second build that if I'm really wanting to sweat that day, if I really want to get into it, I call Valkyrie. And I made a few videos on this, and I am amazed it doesn't get run. You run a primary, a kinetic precision frame bow with quick access sling. Okay, mm-hmm. So you can swap weapons after the magazine reaches empty, which for a bow is only one shot. And you run the Ariana's Vow on Top Tree Dawnblade with basically whatever exotic armor you want. I run Eye of Another World just to keep my abilities up faster. The fastest TTK that is not a one-shot TTK from any range on the map. It is the most disgusting build I have ever created. The only reason I don't run it more on the regular is that it is a hard Omega build, and that's just not me. But it is so damn powerful, and I don't see it, and I don't know why. I'll be perfectly honest, because it is so powerful. And that's the second Spotify suggestion that I threw in there. That's that song, that build's theme song.
I like it.
Wow.
Well, good deal, guys. Anything else, Hazel? Anything else I need to talk about?
No. There was one article that I did throw out there.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but basically Bungie just said that this is the new guy that's running the show now. And he said that Forsaken will be vaulted at some point.
Yeah, I saw that.
All of that content. Because they want to keep the game basically at the size that it's at now.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't want to have 8 raids, as they said in there. Now, me personally, I'm okay with 8 raids.
I'm good with that.
But I would like to see some more Crucible maps. So,
amen, brother.
What is up, man?
How about a new mode? Bring Rift back.
Just
combined arms.
Give me some more maps. Come on. God, I've seen the same 4 maps like the last 3 nights. It's like, come on. Yeah.
God help us if you go into Gambit.
Hey, oh, God, yeah.
Don't speak that word here. Don't speak that word in my presence.
But it's triple infamy.
That's a dirty word. That's a dirty word in our clan.
I love it. Well, hey, guys, thanks for chiming in. I appreciate it. And I guess next, Hazel, we got community questions, right?
Yep.
All right. We'll do that next.
Hey Guardians, would you like to send us a question for the show? Well, there's 4 ways to do it.
Number 1, join our Discord server. There's a join link in our show notes. We have some great gamers in there, by the way, and you can just lurk or hang out or jump right in and talk with us. There's also a channel labeled Podcast Questions where you can type in your question for the show.
You can also email us at guardiandowncast@gmail.com, or we also tweet out almost every week about our upcoming show, guest, and you can respond there with your questions at guardian_d_cast is our Twitter handle.
Finally, you can send us a voicemail with your questions at speakpipe.com/guardiandowncast. Remember, that's all one word. And we'll play it on the show for you guys.
SpeakPipe is honestly my favorite thing. But anyway, thank you for all you guys do, and toddles.
And later, Guardian. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we get our questions from our Discord and SpeakPipe and our website, everything like that. And I think we have mainly Discord questions this week. So, Hazel, why don't you go first, man? What we got?
All right. I personally like this one. All right. A question from Uncle Scumdeath. I'm just watching some UFC fights, and this dude calls himself the Vessel of Violence. This is hilarious. What would be your UFC fight pseudonym?
Ooh. Do you guys watch UFC?
I do, yeah. I do. A little bit. Not much. My dad was super into it, so back when I was living with him, we watched a little bit more of it back then.
Okay.
Oh, man, I don't know. Yeah, because it has to be like a noun, right? Because I have like names for my builds, right? But that's not quite the same. Oh, man, I don't know. Because my first inclination just to go with my main build's name, just call it Warp Speed, right? But
right.
I think I could come up with a better one if given more time. I don't know. That's a tough one. I don't know if Electro, do you have anything? You have a name that you would call yourself?
I don't know. Maybe probably one. I don't really watch UFC that much, but I probably got one name for it. So the name that I would probably call myself is Lord of Memes, Destroyer of all memes.
You would do. You freaking would. Oh my gosh. Damn it, Electro.
He tells me that's going to get carried over episode. He's going to start calling you that.
The Lord of Memes, yeah.
Or actually, yeah, in our clan, somebody posted this picture for me, the one that's in my profile pic. And yeah, I could probably use that. And the character name for it is Juanos, not Thanos.
Mexican Thanos, yeah. Mexican Thanos, Juanos.
That's awesome.
Gosh.
God, I don't know.
How about you, Mason?
I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what I would say. So I don't know. Give me another question. I don't know what I would say to that one. That's a tough one for me.
I honestly don't. I mean, I get the question, and I know they have really cool names. Other than their real name, they have their little avatar type name. I don't know, man. I guess because I'm called Gator, I'd be called the Jaws of Death or something. I don't know. I'm not very creative in this area.
That's a good one.
I'm not very.
That's not bad. I mean,
I'm not creative in this area. Sorry, I'm not a name maker. So, Hazel, what do you?
Especially when you just I asked the question like 30 seconds ago.
Yeah.
Only thing I can come up with is like the nut. So I don't know.
Oh, I like
please
that.
Don't call yourself the nut.
I like that. He's gonna teabag you when you're on the ground. Oh man!
Walk around, here comes the nut.
Oh my god! All right. Okay, I'll pick the next one. I got one here from Chubby Wizard. It's a question for the show. What is your favorite story / character in Destiny? Mine has always been the Iron Lords, but this season, the story and character development of the Crow have become my favorite. The latest cutscene with Crow and Osiris was incredible. I can't wait to see what happens next. I think Bungie has done some of their best work with storytelling this season. The Cato story is great, and Dead Man's Tale mission and story is top notch too. Thanks, love the show. Favorite story / character in Destiny? What do you guys think?
I would have to agree. That's exactly my thoughts too. Is that a lot of the times we see Bungie do a lot of tell rather than show, and this is the first time we've really gotten to actually get to experience who the Crow is, and I really like the conflicted aura around him, right? Both as a person, like as a guardian now, I guess I should say, as well as how people perceive him, right? Because it's a very divisive, like if you were to ask somebody like a guardian, you'd be like, are you okay with Crow? Right.
Right.
Is he cool? Right. You'll get a lot of split answers. Some people like, no, F him. He killed Cade. Right? And you can't forgive him for that. Personally, I think that he's not the same person, right? He's completely different. He's no longer Uldren, he's the Crow, right?
And he's a guardian,
Yeah, and he's a guardian, right? And there's also some interesting stuff happening where he's able to hear the Travelers. So some people are postulating that maybe he's the next speaker, which would be really interesting.
That would be.
Oh, wow.
Nice answer. Electro, what about you, man? Favorite character or story in Destiny? It could be Destiny 1 too, by
That's
the
a
way.
good. Yeah. That's a good question. Not really sure. I think the favorite character that I would pick probably would be Lord Saladin or Saint 14.
Yeah,
and the reason why is because in D1, we got to know a little bit more about Lord Saladin and, you know, the Iron Lords, and, you know, the Siva kind of infested the lands of, I forgot that one map, but, yeah, like, we usually saw him as, like, the single person, or the single Iron Lord that was in the story, but we didn't really know too much about him until the DLC, I forgot what it was called already. But yeah, like, yeah, there you go. Yeah, when that DLC happened, like, that thing was amazing because, like, it showed more into detail what he went through and what it was like before, how the Iron Lords were, I guess, more of the leadership role than I think the Vanguard was.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I like his character more.
That's a good one. That was the one I was thinking of too, but I'll think of another one here. Hazel, what do you got, man?
I would have to go with, I mean, sadly, just like everybody else. I mean, I think the Crow is just, I think they put in like every last ounce of effort into making him be like one of the most sympathetic characters so people wouldn't hate him, or at least, you know, like 75% of people wouldn't hate him. But yeah, I mean, that would have to be my answer too.
Mine's very. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No.
Oh, okay.
You first.
I was going to say, as he was talking about Lord Saladin, I remembered another story that I really, really liked that it was only like very briefly touched on, but it's a really interesting story as well as the story of Fellwinter.
Yes.
Like when we were going to get his weapon, we got more background on him.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of relate to it because he has a interesting past, right? He has a very like conflicted, like kind of like the Crow, a very conflicted past.
Yeah.
And she's just like, I this is who I am now. I'm not, I just want a clean break. Right. But the difference between him and Uldren is that he still has all that stuff back there. So he has to like carry that with him and live with that. Right. And obviously he was an Iron Lord, so it made him a bit of a badass too.
Yeah. Fellwinter had a chip on his shoulder, it seemed, all the time. He always pushed,
he had an oppressive dad.
Yeah. I love the lore. Lore's so awesome. You know, my favorite story in Destiny is the very first one. I mean, we'll never get that feeling back, right? We'll never get that feeling when we're going through the Cosmodrome and realizing that we're not alone. And just the fact that there used to be a working world that we lived in, and now we're like 1,000 years later, you know, it's just crazy to see. And of course, when the first Kell ship comes down, when you first run out of the factory areas and into the actual open part of where you see the spider tank, I'll never forget that story. That story still always sticks in my mind as the story of Destiny. So, and I'm not taking away anything from our current story and our current characters, and I was a big fan of Rise of Iron and the story of all the different Iron Lords and how Siva. How they tried to use Siva and how it backfired on them. And, you know, I love that story too. And that's what Electro was talking about. So I just can't get away from the very first story of when you first started Destiny. That's when everything changed for me in this game. So it really felt like a living, breathing world. And it's pretty cool. All right. That was my question. So, Hazel, or do you guys have a question you see in there you want to ask?
There's a lot of questions.
Our community, this is a couple of weeks, by the way. Our community I love our community. They put so many great thinking questions in here, and we can only pick so many a week because when we first started podcasting, we tried to answer all of them. But was that a mistake, right, Hazel? We'd be 2 hours answering questions, and you know, we were new. Everyone wanted to know about us and stuff, so we rolled with it. But it was a chunk of our show. But now we have a time limit, so that's why we ask you guys, if you see something out there that sticks out that you want to answer, then go for it. Otherwise, Hazel, you're next, I guess.
Yeah, I have one because I really want to know Unknown's answer to this.
Okay.
Uh-oh, he's scared. You hear that? All right. Question from Golden God.
How do you like your steak?
Ooh, the meat question.
Good one.
You know what's funny?
Good one.
The funny part was I was literally just looking at that one.
He was getting hungry.
Yep.
Oh
Yeah. To answer that, I think I like my steak well done, and yeah.
Okay.
Oh, but it turns to charcoal. How could you? Ah.
Hey man, I mean I'm a Mexican, so I mean where's the charcoal freaking meat?
It's all about the char.
My
It's all
God.
about the char, right? Yeah, I got you.
He's had soup. He's had soup. Forgive him. Okay.
Yeah, fair.
That's
fair.
true.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
true. Mesome, what about you?
I'm okay. So depends on where I'm going. It's like let me ask you this: if you're going to a fancy breakfast place,
Mhm.
In order, would you pick pancakes, French toast, or waffles? Which order would you pick those in? Asking you guys.
Waffles, pancakes, French toast.
Interesting. So fancy restaurant waffles first.
Yeah, I love Belgian waffles.
Okay. Hazel.
Okay. Fancy restaurant. I'm going to go
Yeah.
French toast first.
Okay.
Then pancakes and waffles last.
Interesting. Okay. Now like a Denny's or something just kind of run of the mill, not that
Oh.
expensive. You know that you're going to get kind of like
Right.
just very average food,
Sure.
right? Same question. What would you pick?
It's pancakes first because you can't mess pancakes up too much. French toast. I'm not a French toast eater, so that's always going to be last. Then it would be waffles after that, and then French toast
Hazel.
Yeah. Pancakes, waffles, French toast.
because you
Exactly.
can mess up French toast.
Yeah, exactly. Which is exactly my thought. So what I would say is that if I'm at a fancy place, it's the exact same idea. Medium rare first,
Right.
then medium well. Right. If I'm at a place that I know it's probably just going to give me average service, medium well, medium rare, because you can mess up a medium rare and it just
Right.
becomes just kind of just blood and
Yep.
it's nasty. Right. Medium if there's somewhere in between, if I'm feeling like this place might be able to handle it. Medium well, because I know at the very worst I'll get jerky and that's fine. I can deal with jerky.
Right.
But-
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's my thought on it.
If it's fast food, make sure it's medium well to well done. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bingo. Yeah.
Can't
So that's my thought.
even if they left the meat out a little while, at least it's going to kill everything, right?
Yeah, just nuke it.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'll be fine. I'll get through it.
My favorite meal is a perfectly medium top sirloin, seasoned really nicely. This could be at like Outback. This could be at a nice restaurant. A good. See, sirloin is really hard to cook right because it's not a very fatty meat, so you have to really flavor it just right. So you can tell a good steak restaurant by getting just a medium, slightly pink, not bleeding, top sirloin, and how they season it and how they cook it will tell you everything about that restaurant.
Agreed. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
I hate myself for asking this question because now I'm hungry.
I am so hungry.
Yeah, same.
I would have to say medium rare. No matter what. I mean, medium rare, depending on where I'm at, of course. Yeah.
You want your napkin soaked with blood a little bit?
Just enough. Just enough.
Okay. That's fair.
My parents take their steak rare.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh God, I can't do that.
Concern for their mental health. That's understandable.
Oh man. Okay, that was your question. Do you guys see one? You want to ask?
None really in here. There's a lot of questions and
Okay.
none really in here that really.
Man, Uncle Scumdeath had a lot of good questions. Man,
He did.
he was on a roll.
He must have been bored at work one day.
He must have been. He must have been. I'll get this one out of the way. Truth lives. Question for Gator: when are you going to play with us lowly Xbox players? When there's crossplay. So we'll
Never.
take that
Oh,
one off
yeah.
the list. I've already answered that question. Okay, let's see here. Okay.
All right. I've got one.
Go for it.
I want to hear Meesome's answer
Okay.
to this one. I don't know who it was. Here we go. Golden God. Question for the show. If you could change one thing about the gaming industry, what would it be and why?
The gaming industry, damn, as a whole, huh?
Yeah.
Man, that is an interesting one. Here's what I would say. I would say that I would want to see two things primarily. Number one, I would like to see more people getting into the field, because some of my favorite games have come from like a team of like 1 to 5 people. right? Like there's really small indie games of just people with just a lot of passion just poured into this thing, right? I love that. And I wish more people had more tools to be able to make those types of awesome experiences. Second thing I would say is that the work environment has a tendency to be a bit rough, let's put it that way. They have a tendency to encourage or rather expect like crunch time and such, which is to some degree understandable, but it's kind of a known issue where it's one of those things where it's not necessarily on the contract per se, but if you don't crunch, you probably aren't going to be with us next cycle. And typically the crunch is very, very, it's two things. It's bad for the game and it's bad for the people making it, right? Cyberpunk is an excellent example of that, where they were put under a crunch and they said, all right, we got to make it to this deadline, and said, okay, we got to kick it back. We can't do it. And instead of kicking it back the second time or the third time or however many times they ended up kicking it back, they just released it and it turned out to be a massive shitstorm, right? Mm-hmm. And I can guarantee you that everybody on that team is disappointed at how it turned out, right? They came out a buggy, just almost unrepairable mess, right? Where people are making fun of it. Like the game is known for being bad. That's why you play it, is to play for the bugs, right? Nobody on the design team or the dev team wants that. Nobody. Give the developers more time. Let them work it out. Kick it back a year if you have to. One of my favorite quotes, I believe it was from Masahiro Sakurai himself, the guy who makes Super Smash Brothers. A good game that is late, how to go? Shoot. A game that is delayed will eventually be good. A game that is bad will always be bad, right? And that's somewhat changed nowadays, but it still holds true, right? If you rush a game out and you just try to get it out and it's bad, just look at No Man's Sky. The initial release of No Man's Sky, it's pulled up on the reins a little bit. It's pulled up, so it's kind of in a better spot, but they just needed more time. They just needed to wait it out. Yeah. And it's the community as well as the executives that make that, like the people who are playing the game as well as the people who are supplying the money, that make that more difficult. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
Good. No, that's right.
No, that was great.
We like it, man. We like that stuff. What do you say, Hazel? One more each?
Well, actually, I want to know if Unknown has an answer, because I have an answer too to this.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Too, Gator.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's awkward, but what was the question again?
If you could change one thing about the gaming industry, what would it be?
I don't know, just just give them infinite money and then make the game better. Wait, what?
Problem solved. Give them money.
I like it.
Better supplied, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Gator.
For me, it's real simple, and this has been my wish for a long time. I think we need to get closer to Ready Player One. I think immersive worlds where we get on a treadmill, we're not killing ourselves sitting for hours, we're actually moving and actually involved in the game. I know there's been entrepreneurs that have come out with gaming multi-directional treadmills, and I really, really wish that the gaming industry as a whole would embrace that technology as it becomes available, because I would like just playing on my Oculus, playing Beat Saber or something. I'm exhausted when I'm done. And I love that because I'm using my brain and my body and my muscles and moving around. So, I mean, it's low, it's not high energy, but I'm not sitting on my can, letting everything atrophy away. So I really hope that that's where the gaming industry goes in the future.
Have you heard that they have successfully created a peripheral to like Oculus headsets, like VR headsets, that can literally read your brainwaves?
No, I have not
heard about that.
I have not.
They're fully marketing it. They're working on perfecting it, but like you can actually play the game with your mind
intuitively. Really?
Yeah, intuitively. Yep.
No buttons or clicks or presses.
Nope. Just straight up. Just stare at the thing that you want to blow up with your brain, and you blow it up.
I love it. I'm all for that.
Nice. You hear this?
I'm all for that. I'm all for anything that make it seem more realistic and not as mechanical. Anything that can make things more smooth and natural. I'm for that. That's why I mentioned the treadmill, because if you're playing a shooter and you're running into battle, wouldn't it be cool if you could actually run into battle? Wouldn't that be the most coolest
What
thing
if you
ever?
don't have stamina for that?
Well,
I'd say there'd be like a meta for people actually being in shape. That'd be interesting.
you could put it on slow mode or more sensitive or whatever if you want to walk instead of run or whatever. But there'd be different settings you could do down the road. But I'm telling you, they're on Shark Tank. They had one guy who had an actual Oculus headset on and was actually doing a first-person shooter running on an omnidirectional treadmill, and they all poo-pooed it. They all said, "Nah, that's pie in the sky, too expensive, blah blah blah." I really hope that we get to that point in the future. I think we will. It's just a matter of time. I mean, the VR headsets now are fully contained. My Oculus doesn't need anything to plug into. I just put it on, and it says, "Okay, let's play." I love that. So
nice.
What's your answer?
I just picture a lot of people like running on a treadmill and then having to stop and light up a cigarette and go.
But I am trying to hold myself back from like going way too deep into this conversation.
I know it can go there. I know it's very conceptual. But what about you, Hazel? You haven't answered it.
I haven't, and my answer is going to be controversial. My thing is, I'd like to see fewer games as a service.
I got you.
I miss the days where you played a game, you beat it, and you moved on to something else.
One and done.
I suggest there's the whole brand of games called indie games. They're made by like 1 to 5 people, and they're pretty much exclusively that. And they're the best experience you will get in a game if you want some real passion. I don't know if you heard about them before. I don't know if I've ever talked about them.
Dude, but what's the graphics like?
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's the one you always get.
Yeah, but no, I mean, and I've been dabbling in like Ghost of Tsushima. That's a fantastic game. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I just want to see this Destiny pay off eventually, and it's starting to. We're only in year 7. So I mean, it's nice to see some storylines actually happen and answers finally come out and things like that. So, maybe somebody will perfect the games as a service genre.
Yeah, I get that too. All right. Okay, one question each, and it goes with you guys too. If you see one, let us know. I'm going to go with this one. This is kind of a fun one I want to end with. This is from Jealous. He put it in quite a while ago. It's a question for the show. You have been given the opportunity to live one day as the life of your favorite fictional character. Who is it? We always go to our guests first, by the way.
Damn.
All right,
that is a tough one.
I'll get the ball. I'll get the ball rolling since I've already been thinking about this. My answer would be Alligator. It is the actual mascot for the University of Florida Gators.
What?
Yes, I would love to be an actual. I would actually like to be the real Gator, going around campus high-fiving everybody. That'd be awesome. All right. I'll get serious.
What?
What?
I think I've got my answer.
All right, good. I got the ball rolling.
Save us.
I got my answer. I had a few that came into mind, but at the end of the day, and this is actually something that I was going to make. I had to stop myself from the last question because I could have gone on that question.
I know. It's easy to do.
But I would love to be a pilot from Titanfall 2. That would be the dream.
Yes.
To be able to fly at 60 miles an hour just with my body, just sprinting and flying off the buildings and just careening off and just going full no holds bar, experiencing that level of adrenaline and speed, and then taking the time to climb into a 60,000 ton mech and just stomping and crashing and just blowing everything up. It is like it is a 12-year-old's wet dream. I'm amazed Titanfall 2 didn't get more love, but holy damn, would that be fun for a day?
Yeah, it would.
I agree. That would be great. Oh, no?
Nice. Okay, so fictional character, huh? Um,
Don't lie to me. You're gonna say Dragon Ball.
honestly, you know me too well because I was
know
about
you
to say
really
that.
well. You're gonna say Dragon Ball. Just get
I
it
was
out
gonna
there.
say, yeah, I was gonna say like I would be like I guess a Dragon Ball Z fighter. I don't know. I guess similar to Goku, the main character of the show. I don't know. I mean, the fighting just looks interesting and yeah, it's just I don't know. It looks fun to do and yeah, beating up people and you know, getting stronger, yada yada, and also eating meat all the time and yeah.
That's awesome. Hazel, what about you, man? Who would you be?
Well, unfortunately, I did have an answer. I forgot what it was when you gave me your answer about
That was
gator.
just to get the ball rolling. I got a real answer here.
Thank God. But you completely derailed me, and I forgot who it was.
I love it.
So, I'm so mad at you right now. But I think, I mean, sadly, I mean, I thought of it before Unknown answered gave his answer, but I would have to say Vegeta from.
Vegeta.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, Vegeta. Yeah,
Yeah, man. That's
I think I know that
unfortunate.
guy. I think I know that guy.
But you chose Vegeta, which is like, I don't know, man. Vegeta?
Yeah. Yes.
Surprised he didn't.
Not a bad character.
I'm surprised he didn't say Charizard.
Charizard. Hey, man, being a Pokemon would be pretty damn cool,
That would
too.
be. That would be.
Yeah.
All right, my real answer. It's just for a day, right? So no. Yeah, for funsies, I'd want to be Captain Price for a day and run on a military mission. That's what I'd like to do.
Yeah.
That would be awesome, man. Do some night ops with,
It'll be so
night
stressful, though.
night vision. I don't care. It's only for a day. I wake up the next morning. I'm back to my life, right?
He says you wake up.
It'd be so much fun. Yeah. All right.
That would be cool. That'd be cool.
Take us out, Hazel. What we got?
Okay. I'm gonna go with this one. What is one thing you're looking forward to doing after the pandemic has subsided?
Oh boy. Haven't really looked into it much, but I would love to get back into airsoft. I love doing airsoft,
Nice.
and that's definitely something I've missed. That and eating out, like just in a building, just being able to sit indoors and eat my sushi. Definitely something I would miss. Just having that freedom to do that kind of stuff.
Nice. Unknown.
I think my life would be kind of normal before the pandemic started. Usually, I just wake up in the morning, get ready for school, go to school, to the college that I go to. It's like 30 minutes away. Basically just do my schooling, chill out for a bit at the school and do some homework, come back, and maybe if I have the time, maybe work out again. And then just basically go to work and, come back and then chill and play some video games. That's mostly what I did in the pandemic, or before the pandemic. So I think that's what I would do, but I'd probably, now that after the pandemic, I'd probably do actually more productive stuff. Like, I don't know, just, I don't know, like pick another hobby, I guess.
I'd learn a new hobby. There we go.
All right. I got Uncle Scumdesk got so many great questions here. I got to finish on one of his. I know I said one each, but it's gonna be a bonus one here. Such a great question. All right. All right. This is from Uncle Scumdeath. When I'm up early on the weekends, which is rare, I usually love to make loads of noise to wake the kids up and really annoy them, like I did this morning. Is this something you enjoy, or is it just me? Love the show. Now, this may not apply to you guys, but I had to say this. I mean, is there a moment when you guys have purposely tried to wake someone up when you get up in the morning?
Oh yes, I'm the oldest brother.
Okay.
So it has come to my responsibility a few times to be the judge, jury, and executioner for how certain things should fall. And yes, I accept. It's not like I'm just going to make some noise in the outside. I will grab a pot and I will grab a spoon. I will kick the door down.
Wow.
And then beat that as loud as I possibly can. I want to make sure that they're awake when it's on the other side. They don't necessarily like it when it happens but they love me nonetheless, so I must be doing something right.
How about you? How about you, Electro? You ever done this?
Not to the extreme that Mesome has done it,
my
but
God, yeah.
probably like, I don't know, like it being subtle, like maybe like, because okay, so if I were to walk out of my room right now, like going all the way to the kitchen, there's just nothing but tiles, right?
Right.
And I don't know, like for some reason, like I stomp pretty hard, even though I just normally walk that way. But I guess that accidentally wakes him up because, you know, you just hear like this big stomping like across my house, and they're just like, who the hell is stomping up in the freaking morning? And this is like, you know, like probably like around like 6 a.m. in the morning. So yeah, they're probably, you know, upset that I that I made so much noise just to grab like one snack. But yeah,
You got to get some soup.
yeah.
Breakfast soup.
Can I have some more, please? Hazel,
Nice.
you ever done this, man?
Hell no. I try to be like a ninja and try to like, you know, not wake anybody up because I mean, I found my time is precious. I'm like, oh, it's quiet. Holy shit. I don't know what to do with my life. So, yeah. So that's my thing is I don't want to wake anybody up or disturb anybody.
Well, I used to have the job of taking my kids to school. My wife was a teacher, so she obviously is out the door before school. And I would always have to drive them to school. And they are night owls like me, and they do not like mornings. They don't like to move. And I'm like, hey, if I have to get up to take you guys to school, then I'm going to wake everybody up. I'll make sure they're wide awake. I've done things like throw wet washcloths on them and while they're sleeping in bed because they're not responding to the noise I'm making. It could be anything, but I used to love doing that, and now it's different. But yeah, I related to that when Uncle Scumdeath came up with that question. He's our crazy uncle from across the pond, and yeah, it was really good. All right, hey, thank you all. Our community is so awesome. We really appreciate all the questions you guys give us, and we've got a really nice database, you could say, of really great questions. And unfortunately, you know, we got to respect these guys' time. I mean, they want to go play some Crucible, which I don't blame them. And, you know, we have one segment left, and I think Elmer Fudd Games is gonna say a little something here, and then we'll be choosing our songs right after this.
Guardian Downcast. Guardian Downcast. Yeah. Guardian Downcast. This is an intro. Guardian Downcast. Guardian. Not copyright. Guardian Downcast.
All right, boys and girls, it's our final segment of the show. Thank you, Elmer Fudd, for that intro. This is where we pick our songs for our playlist. And you can follow it, by the way, on Spotify. It's Guardian Downcast Show playlist, and it's also on iTunes. Just look for it there. We have the links always in our show notes if you want to follow along and see what we pick and see if something there's in there that you like. We now have 587 songs, 41 hours and 51 minutes of music representing all of us and our past guests for almost 2 years now. I usually like to post some videos too of our picks every week, so look for those in our music and TV channel in our Discord. Well, we'll start with you, Mesome. What did you pick this week, man?
So I decided that being that we are we're talking about this as Destiny players, I would pick the two songs that for me are the most Destiny related in my interactions with it, which I talked about earlier in the show, talking about like sort of my builds, theme songs, because I make different builds and that's my thing, right?
Right. So
the first song I picked is for my Warp Speed build, my Astrocyte Military Nova build, and it's from my favorite game, the soundtrack Undertale. You probably heard of it.
Might have seen it on a video.
Or two.
Yep.
It's the song is called Death by Glamour, and it is a very energetic song, and it's got multiple parts to it. And for me, what makes it so much fun is that when I'm vibing with the song, every time I picture like when it transitions to the different parts, like the different times that I'm in different engagements, or like, for example, there's a part where it kind of leads up and then it, drops down again. And that's like the super for me. And it's a very, very fun song, and absolutely one of my favorite songs on the soundtrack. The second pick for me is an old favorite, recently been repopularized through memes and other different things. Rah Rah Rasputin by originally Bonnie M. And that song has so much funk in it. And I'm not really even like, I'm a classic rock kind of guy, but there is something special about Rah Rah Rasputin that is just so much fun. And again, another build song for me. Like this is the song that plays through my head when I play my Valkyrie build. That's the rhythm that I place myself into. And it's just such a groove. And it's an earworm too. It'll get caught in your head all day. And it's great. I love it. It's absolutely my favorite.
It was rattling around in my head after I made the mistake of listening to it.
Same here. I was hating you guys.
I'm probably going to go listen to it after we're done here.
It's great though. I mean, it's great you have it playing in your head. It keeps you focused on what you're doing. I love it. Electro, what about you, man? What'd you pick this week?
The two songs that I picked for this week was Love Times Love by George Benson and Unity by the Fat Rat.
Okay.
And I guess I'll start with Love Times Love. Ever since growing up, I really liked oldies and just like, really old music, because when I was growing up, my dad introduced me to like one of his like the first music, which was an oldie. I can't remember what it was. I think it was the Stylistics the song was called I can't remember, but it was by the Stylistics. But
okay,
yeah, I just really like oldies, and yeah, this one kind of like I don't know, it's very I wouldn't say romantic, but there's like a groove that you could go listen to, and yeah, I just really like it. And the second one, which is the Fat Rat, obviously, so I listen to Electro, but like whenever I say that I listen to Electro, I kind of listen to like, I guess, different parts. So like it could be like house, it could be trap, it could be, basically anything that kind of is related to Electro. But yeah, the Fat Rat is definitely somewhat related, and yeah, I don't know, it's just like it's a nice melody, and yeah, I like it.
Yeah, Electro, I guess you're living up to your name, because I would have never guessed in a million years you would pick George Benson.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Talking about the two sides of Electro, right?
Yeah, that's exactly. Wow. Nice job. Hazel, what'd you pick this week, man?
All right. My first song is a song that my wife has had on repeat for probably, I don't know, 3 weeks now. She listens to a podcast from Brene Brown, and she has people pick like 5 songs and she puts them on a playlist. And this is one from Simon Sinek, and it's Wolf by First Aid Kit. And this song is just sticks with you.
I love that group.
Yeah.
Swedish,
really good.
I think they're from Sweden.
I don't know about that, but your wife actually added them to our playlist.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
Yeah, so you didn't get to steal a pick from her.
Okay.
So, yeah. Not like now, anyway. So, and then my second song is a song from a movie that I watched called The Guest. I've watched this a couple years back, but ever since I've watched it, I've always had this song on a playlist, and I don't know why I've never added it here, but it's Haunted When the Minutes Drag by Love and Rockets. It's a synth song, and it's really good.
See, I'm rubbing off on you with the synth, though.
I saw this movie well before.
All right. Fine. Okay.
Hazel, I've got to send you some Undertale stuff. You're going to love some Undertale
soundtrack. Then I'll hear it, and then it won't be out of my head. I actually listened to some of that Rah Rah Rasputin. I was stuck on that playlist, man. That's some great music.
Right there.
All right. I picked a British rock group. They formed in actually while they were attending University of Westminster in 2003. It's a progressive rock and electronic group. It's really a kind of a neat sound. Like I said, they met while they were attending the university. They've recorded 4 studio albums to date. The most recent, 2020. My song is off that exact album, 2020 album called Eupnia. And the song is Ghost and Typhoons. And the group is Pure Reason Revolution. Good song. I don't know. It just has nice piano, nice synthesizer. Kind of reminds me of Pink Floyd back in the day. So I guess that's why I picked it. It's really good sound. I like that kind of vibe. My second pick, I picked a 32-year-old English singer, songwriter, record producer, and multi-instrumentalist musician. He's from London, England. He first released singles in 2009. He's classically trained in piano as a child. I think he was 6, if I read that correctly. He's won a Grammy, a Mercury Prize, and was named Best New Artist in 2014. Collaborated with Beyonce, Kendrick Lamar, Frank Ocean, and many others. And he has a romantic relationship with Jamila Jamil. Do you guys remember I guess it's the Indian actress from The Good Place? The tall, dark-haired lady? I don't know if you guys saw that show. But that's who Jamila Jamil is. He's released 4 studio albums to date. The song I chose is off his second album, Overgrown, and the song is Retrograde. And the artist is James Blake. It's a very, very cool groove. If you're just sitting in the office, just browsing or whatever in the office, it's a really nice song to unwind to. As requested, I'm losing my voice. As requested, Mrs. Gator has chosen a song for the week. She says this song by Airborne Toxic Event is so sad. They have a new album out that I'm looking forward to listening to, but until then, this will have to do. The song is Sometime Around Midnight from the 2009 deluxe album, The Airborne Toxic Event. You know what? Listen to the lyrics of this song. It's a very haunting song. Anyway, I always get a little maudlin when I listen to it. Zan actually picked a song this week. He says, I chose Theopolis, London, and their song Only You for my girlfriend, Natalie. Zan, you're such a softie. That's why I love you, man. Guys, that's a wrap. For those of you out there who have not heard about our little podcast, we have 85 other episodes out there from interviews and gamers all over our Destiny community. So if you're just out finding out about us, check out those. And Guardian Downcast. It's all right there. Gentlemen, I had a great night tonight. It's a great time hanging out with you guys. You guys, I just have to reiterate, you guys are doing a good thing. When I think of the Destiny community, I think of what you guys are doing right now, and the fact that you're putting it in videos and letting people see how your clan, gets along and all the fun you guys are having. And I just really love seeing that. And when I scour YouTube listening to and watching a lot of Destiny content creators out there, and man, you guys are going to go far. You guys really are. I know you've been growing like crazy over the last several months, but I mean, I see you guys getting much larger than you are now. So thank you for dropping by our little show tonight and telling your story to us. We appreciate it.
Yes, it's our pleasure.
Yeah.
Well, in that vein, where can we find you guys?
I'm not trained on the rapid fire like when I did my interview with MP, he spat out his twitch.tv/MP edits like bam instantly.
Yep.
We have a lot of different places you can find us at. Primarily, you can YouTube us TDT, just the letters TDT, like Tango Delta Tango. Mm-hmm. We also have the second channel, my channel, mesome777. Mm-hmm. We also have Twitter, we have Instagram, we have the Discord. All that stuff you can find in the description of our video. So I would recommend you go check out those first because that'll give you a good link to where you can go for the rest of that stuff.
Very cool. Mm-hmm. Very cool. How about you, Electro? Any contact info you want to put out there?
Yeah, basically what Mesome just said. I think there is some differences on the Instagram. So it would be TDT Productions. Yeah.
That's right.
So it would be TDT Productions that you can find us there. I'm not too sure if that's the same for Twitter, but yeah, if you're trying to look for us up on Instagram, then
that's an Omega watching out for his Gamma in front, right?
It's true. Yeah, that is true. Absolutely.
Got him.
Anywhere else people can reach you, Electro? Or are you good?
I mean, occasionally. We might get a fan from in-game, mm-hmm. and sometimes we just send a Discord link invite,
very cool.
On the PlayStation. So maybe if like you're like on PlayStation like with us, then you could probably get a invite from us just randomly if they recognize us.
Yeah, it's the same as we have it here too. So if you want to look us up that way, that's how you can do it.
Now, what is the actual clan in game? Is it the Wolf Pack? Is it the TDT?
The Dream Team.
The Dream Team.
The Dream Team.
I've come across some of you guys in Crucible. Yeah, I remember seeing it.
Yeah. you'll get a variety of us from all different walks of life, from different levels of skill. But yeah, the Dream Team with the tag TDT. It's like the YouTube.
And if you see 6 of them together, just leave the game.
Probably it's like unless you we welcome challenge. We actually seek it out. Like if you can give us a run for our money, please do.
I love it.
But yeah.
I love it, man. Well, thank you again, guys. That was great. It's a great interview. Hazel, how can everybody find you, sir?
Hazel, NT, anywhere and everywhere.
You can find me on Twitter, Todd the Gator. Remember, that's G-A-T-R. You can also find me on Steam and PS4 as Gator. Almost said Jader. As Gator, G-A-T-R. All caps, underscores in between. I'm not even going to say the one on Xbox. We're also on YouTube, Gator-Guardian Downcast, where we actually post our episodes every week, so look out for those. You can find our podcast on whatever catcher you have out there, but the best way really is guardiandowncast.com. And I did want to mention this to you guys. Do you guys mind sending us a pic we could throw on our Instagram later? It could be of your clan, anything you want. It's up to you. Anything maybe represents your clan or you guys individually. Hazel's in charge of our Instagram, and if you put him in our show DM, he'll be sure to put him in there, but usually midweek, I think.
Yep.
I could find something for you.
Thank you, guys.
Like a photo of like ourselves, like right now, like
anything you want.
Actual
anything you want.
RL photo.
Keep it G-rated, Electro. G-rated.
Electro's getting like, oh, you want
a photo?
A photo.
Oh.
Wink, wink, wink. Gotcha.
Right.
From the waist up.
Awesome. Well, we can't leave the show without a Scumdesk Corner. So here we go.
Hello, and welcome to Scumdesk Corner. Just a minute ago, I've been accused of leaving sock fluff in the shower. And I know for a fact, every time I have a shower, fair enough, I wear black socks. Every time I have a shower, if there's any black fluff on the shower base, I'll wash it all down. That shower is immaculate when I've finished. So I've been accused by the missus and her daughter of leaving fluff in the shower tray. Thing is, the missus has got blue hair. The daughter's got mahogany hair. So when I go to have a shower, it's a rainbow of bloody coloured hair all in the bloody shower. So I am right on this occasion. So, but what I do, I bought myself, because they don't wash the shower after them, I bought myself a shower mat. So I stand on that because I don't want to stand on their scum. So I'm in the right, they're in the wrong. This is unfair. I've just had a shower and it's immaculate. Now I've finished. So they can get stuffed. I'm right, they're wrong. Anyway, rant over. Love you guys. See you later.
Hey, everybody. Continue to be safe out there. And more importantly, take care of one another.
Guardians are measured by their ability to come back from defeat. So stand. Fight!
Thank you all so very much for listening. And later, Guardian.
Toddles.
Bless your faces. Deuces.
Damn it, I was gonna say that.
Yeah, stole it.
I love it. I love it.
Fun fact. I'll talk about this in the video. 90% of my videos are improv.
Oh, wow.
Good.
On the spot. Yep. Just like off the top of my head.
Awesome.
Good. It's because you're a hacker.
I am. I'm a hacker.
I want to set you guys as an example of a clan that really works. You know, it has a great
Sure.
way of doing things. And I still want to get our clan like this. So yeah, save up that juju's. We definitely
save up all the sauce right there.
Save that up. Don't use it too quick. All right. Okay.
This was like,
sorry, man. It's been a long day. I got in with a neighbor of a client today and got into a yelling match, and it's just been a long day.
Why don't you spank my ass, Guardian?
And I don't have my notes in front of me. I thought I was gonna. No,
that was brilliant. That was brilliant.
I don't know what I was thinking there. My notes are all messed up here. Hold on. Okay, here we go. 3, 2.